Welcome back to the Panel Focus Podcast. This is episode 6, and I'm your host, Yada. Once again, I'm joined by my co host, Knox,
Yes, sir.
Weep,
What's up?
and Traffy.
I get to go last this week.
And on this channel, we talk about 9 different weekly manga that you should be reading. There'll be timestamps below in the description to help you skip segments from manga that you might not be following yet. We got some great chapters this week, as usual. But before I forget, I want to say thank you to everybody that's shown us support so far with comments, subs, and likes, and all that good stuff. And I want to say that if you aren't subbed yet, to change that. Also, sorry for the late episode again this week, and thanks for your understanding because you understand. This episode should be dropping right as the new Chainsaw Man drops, since it's coming out on a Tuesday. And that's about it for the intro. Go vote. And now we're jumping into chapter 29 of Centuria, since there is no Chainsaw Man. So, Centuria, we like it.
It's
Love
jumping
it.
out the gym.
Yeah, you heard it. Everybody's
Yeah.
feeling it.
All I'll say is that I called that the king wouldn't want to do anything to Julian and the kid.
Did you call
So,
that?
Did
Did you? Did you really?
I did.
Looking at you. We
I
can-
don't remember all that. Run the
That's
tape
it.
back.
Run the tape, run the
I
tape.
Where's
I
the
said he was
in-house
a good dude.
stenographer at?
What the? So something that I did go back and look because this chapter brought up some things that I wanted. We got these appearances. We got real fellows on this first page. So
Yeah.
I had to go back and look and see if these were the real fellows who were present in the Elstree prophecy before, and some of these are the fellows that we saw.
The
If you-
Fellowship of the Bros?
Yeah, if you guys didn't have a chance to look back in, I think chapter 12, when Elstree had that prophecy, and she was like, Diana's like gonna become like this big dog. Some of these dudes were there, and
I don't even remember that. I didn't go back and look, though.
remember, it was the crazy panel where the city was burnt down, and there was like this giant woman in the sky, and it seemed to be Diana was like grown, and she had a knife, and it looked like she had just finished killing somebody, and there was a bunch of guys, like horsemen and shit. So some
Hit
of
me with
these
the chapter number for that.
I want to say it's like 12. I'll let me
All right.
flippity.
We'll
It's
spin the
around.
block on
It's
that.
13.
yeah.
It's chapter 13.
13.
All right, bet.
Yeah. So yeah, just take a look at it while I'm rambling. But yeah, so page 1's got these 5 knight dudes and the king, and then page 2 has these sorcerers, and definitely at least 2 of these sorcerers are on that page, and at least one of these knight guys. I had to go back and look at it myself now, but they're there, and there's some theory stuff. But also, like, while I was looking for that page, I saw that the king, last week, I think it was in the last episode, Knox was saying like, can't wait to see what this king is about. Once we
Yeah.
see his face and stuff, and see what type of timing he on. He was actually shown in, we got a little bit more of his character this chapter, but he was shown in a previous chapter, and he was kind of nice. He was like,
Oh, is that right?
yeah, Engval was like,
We ain't see his face, though.
we still ain't seen the face.
Okay.
Engval, yeah, but Engval was like, I would have raised this child, Titi, because her family was killed by war. And he was like, do as you wish. There's a land to the south. Go there and, make a village and raise her. And, I'm sorry for the things that happened to her. So he's a responsible king at least, but he might still be a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, so far he doesn't seem to be, though, because like based off of this chapter, he's like, I don't want to harm the people of my land. What kind of king would that make me? And
Yeah.
he's like, if this becomes a problem, I'll deal with it. Then screw the prophecy, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which is cool. You know what I mean? Like, he's ready to stand on business if he needs to, and he's not willing to, get his subjects involved in, mindless violence or whatever. So like, we know he's a son of a bitch, but he's a son of a bitch that like fucks with his people to a certain degree. So he's kind of like Doctor Doom or like Black Adam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over in the West, as
Yeah.
far
Yeah.
as like being a villain, but like one that fucks with his country type shit.
I
He's
don't
like
know.
a
He
firm-
doesn't. He doesn't seem like a villain so far.
So
He's
far,
just-
Arcos is that man's son. So
Yeah.
We
He's
can link that to the mother being a literal psychopath, letting him literally mutilate dead bodies for his own amusement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least from what we can see, he appears to be a firm but fair, ruler. But like, his kids are fucking crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's fair.
One thing I want to say that I wanted to like predict is that he was like probably a cold, ruthless king or general, whatever, when he first created the kingdom. But due to everything that he's gone through, he gained a new perspective and valued his kingdom and subjects, which is why he's like the way he is now. But his children are kind of devoid of that, and for all we know, that could be because of his wife. or because of the fact that they have superhuman abilities right now and that kind of went to their heads.
Yeah, I need this family history, dude. Like, I need to know like what made them the way that they are. I mean, we still don't know exactly, you
Yeah.
know, who they are or what's going on with them entirely. But, like, we just got a
True.
little bit of their personalities, but just like off of this little pinky toe dip into this water, I'm wildly interested in the lore here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That and
can
Arcos
we?
has a sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
can
Arcos's sister seems to like have a similar kind of you know,
Complex.
whereas yeah, well, I mean it's just that Arcos's powers, you know, were kind of like
Water.
Yeah.
water manipulation related, but she seems to like be like a Logia, like a water Logia type,
yeah.
you know, situation where her
Mhm.
body is water, which is just a cool relationship to explore, I think.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Black Knight's design though? Because it's
Yeah.
the
It's awesome.
variation of him is so cool. Like the first guy on the left, he's just like your standard knight. He's got some horns, pretty cool. Then we have a headless dude. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's going on there? Then we got the
Yeah.
four-arm giant. Like, this is some Ben 10 shit going on right here.
You want to know? It
Yes.
reminded me of
Skull
the
Knight.
when I definitely thought about Skull Knight when I saw the shorter
Yeah,
fellow
I was gonna say
to the
that.
right of him. Yeah, but like for the tall one with the four arms, the first thing I thought of was Anima, the final Aeon summon from Final Fantasy X. I don't know if
I'm
y'all
not
played that.
familiar.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, go ahead and Google that guy real quick if you're not familiar with that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's giving Anima. I was like, oh shit, that's fucking raw.
Personally, now I saw Chainsaw Man, which makes perfect sense. The black Chainsaw Man form.
Okay.
Oh yeah, like if that nigga threw on a suit of
Ooh,
armor.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
just put a coat on. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it makes sense since Toru
Yeah.
Kuramori or Mori was, an editor for Fujimoto.
Oh
Oh.
shit! Hold up, we connecting dots.
All that, bro. Toothpick
Nice.
changes everything, bro.
Yo.
And then and then
Something
we
I wanted to
can't
point out.
forget the last character who seems to be female and she's just got her chest out. Like,
I like
what
Yeah.
kind of armor
I
is
mean-
that?
She don't need armor. She got a helmet, a sword, a fucking coat, and some titties. She's ready to
Unless
go.
it's like
I
the
think-
bats, unless it's like the bat symbol on Batman, where it looks like it's vulnerable, but it's literally just a very realistic looking piece of armor, and it's the strongest part of
Oh
her
yeah,
armor.
the chest armor is just crazy.
Yeah.
Her
Oh,
skin is hard as shit, and so
It's funny that you bring up Batman there because like you guys know like the gray Batman suit with like the bright yellow logo on the chest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Classic.
like apparently writing wise that was like to give enemies something to shoot at that was like
Yeah.
brightly colored so that they would aim all of their like bullets to that like yellow beacon on his chest, which was like we
Ooh.
was saying was like the most armored part of the suit or whatever.
That's
Because like
a good
otherwise
point.
otherwise he like blends into shadows with like the rest of his outfit, but then you have this like flashlight on his titties that they're like, oh, I'll shoot there, and then it just like doesn't matter because it's armor.
Unless you're new absolute Batman and your bat signal is literally just a giant fucking axe.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you just wait until you get your like 12-year-old, acrobat sidekick that you throw into the heat of battle with primary colors on, and everyone just shoots at him.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Ugh.
But so
Yeah.
yeah, these designs are fucking really raw. The first thing I
Awesome.
thought of was just like Four Knights, because like Four Knights of the Apocalypse has crazy looking knight armors, and I know Weeb can vouch. The armors in that are
I
crazy.
just need those four knights to get their own particular armor sets now. Granted, I like
Yeah.
their current designs, but I want to see them have armors. I like the Seven Deadly Sins armors for the most part.
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of what we like in good series,
Yeah.
back to Centuria. Dude,
Nah,
I
but-
love this double page spread of like the war room like characters at the table, the aura like coming off of this on like the title page. It's
Yeah.
just
the
it's
sorceress
so
is
hard.
there.
This is such a like staple in stories like these when you finally meet like characters like these that belong to the royalty or like the military, or it reminds me of the first time you see like the Shichibukai in One Piece, or the first time you see like pretty much any villain organization
The
in any
Espada.
shonen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Espada, like they're always sitting around this round table like this. There's always a double page spread dedicated to it, and you just get to see like who the real deal enemies are going to be. You got one in like
It
Goku
hits
Rakugai
every
too,
time.
and it hits
gotta
every
catch up on
single
that.
time. Goku Rakugai is really good. I think I'm like a chapter or two behind, but yeah, you get it in that too. But Yeah, I just love this double page spread every
What
time I see
I
it in any
Mhm.
series.
what I
Yeah.
love about this is it perfectly, just in this one image, it perfectly showcases their personalities too. Like if
Exactly.
you just look at it, you can tell what their personality is. You have the
Right.
chick in the top left, she just seems unbothered, she's staring straight ahead. You got the nun chick, she's just apathetic and smiling. You got the old lady who is serious and listening, and then you got I don't even know how to describe that. They just have a knife. They
Yeah.
look deadly.
Yeah, you know they'd
Yeah.
be stabbing people and
Yeah.
like regardless of the difference in their personalities, like, you know, across the table, you can just tell that they're sadistic and on timing, all of them.
Yeah.
Like whenever they're about to get active, it's going to be a very, very serious thing. That's going to be very hype, yeah.
It's interesting that it's all like, it seems to all be women and, sorcerers in a situation like this. I feel like normally, there's some variety or like some bulky or beefy looking, the people that sit at the table are normally like super cool
Yeah.
or, like menacing
Dudes.
looking. Yeah, dude, buff
It's like
bros, yeah.
yeah, it'd be like 4 dudes and like 2 girls or something, but this is just
Yeah.
like all women. They're sorcerers. It's giving Bene Gesserit from Dune a little bit.
Okay. Not
Okay.
I haven't peeped Dune yet.
Not a Dooner?
Not yet.
Nah.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, you're
But
lacking.
But the king, he's got some forces, man. So he's got these sorcerers, and then he's got these horsemen, and then he had Arcos and
Yeah,
Arcos' sister. Like the king, he's probably a hard guy to get to, man. You can't
yeah.
just run up in his crib and beat his ass. Like
Right. And it's
Yeah.
cool how they have the setup here where you have like the female force of sorcerers that are at the table with him, but then like the dude force of like warriors are like behind him. Like you probably run into like, well, there was that one female warrior or whatever among them, but it seems like if you did want to run up on the king, you'd probably have to get through like Skull Knight Anima and like whatever, like the dude brawly warrior force first. They seem to be like the front line of defense, at least off of the first glance. And then if you somehow make it past them, then you got to deal with these sorcerer women, and they're probably like way colder than the warriors behind the king. And then
Yeah.
you got to get to the king himself. So
The crazy part about that is the king says, should the time come, I shall settle this myself. He doesn't say he'll have to go through my people. He says,
true.
I'll get my hands dirty.
When it comes to the child of prophecy,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the child, yeah, for that one enemy. But I, like if there was like a resistance outside the door, like you probably gotta see Skull Knight real quick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he'll handle the rabble, yeah.
yeah, my stocks are in the scarred face nun. I'm gonna just say that right now. She looks so serious to me. Like I just
Yeah.
know she's gonna be my favorite, bro.
Yeah. I'm fucking with it. She
the-
kind of bad, low key.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What I love about this though is they're kind of like perfectly setting it up. So, Julian's a character who doesn't die easy because he has a bunch of lives, and they don't know this, but the way that the author is setting it up is we're about to throw a bunch of people at you, and we're gonna
Yeah.
see how many take a life off of him.
Yeah, that was one thing I really appreciated at the end of the chapter when Elstree grabs these guys and she's like, gather this country's most skilled and powerful assassins, mercenaries, killers, heretics, monsters. Matters not who they are. And when in a series like this early on, when like you
Yeah.
show kind of like there's a bad guy, there's a king or whatever, and he sent like these people to kill you or whatever. I always just wonder like, okay, but what else? What's gonna be between Julian and like the final bad guy? It's like, okay, so we got like this force in this war room of like 9 people, but then also one of the people in this room is like not
Recruiting their
listening.
own force.
Yeah, they're recruiting a whole other group of people. Like you look at this image and there's like people, there's like a guy with a Galaxias tail.
Yeah, we got a dragon folk in the background.
Yeah, we got somebody holding a big ass fucking axe or something. We got a
Yeah.
knife floater or whatever. Like it's a lot of characters, man.
And speaking of Fujimoto being, you said that this mangaka was like one of his assistants or whatever, right? Am I
Yeah.
remembering that right? This is reminding me of like the International Assassins arc in Chainsaw Man, like
Oh,
low key,
yeah.
when they're like, "Hey, yo, grab all these people from all of these areas of, the world and send them after this chainsaw idiot."
Yeah.
But like, this one's a little
We're
bit
gonna get
more
trauma again, aren't we?
fantastical. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get some trauma, and it's just like I can't wait to see how Julian, because like there's got to be more. Like Julian needs some more allies. He can't just be like taking care of Diane with TT, who is a non-combative character, versus like hordes of dudes. Like they're sending like 13 dudes after him, and then when he, if he ever reaches the goal of the kingdom, there's at least 10 people waiting for him. So it's like he needs some allies, man.
Look,
Yeah.
just off of first impressions from Arcos' sister, she seems like the type that will go to fight Julian and then and end up falling in love with him.
Bro.
Oh, you're so right.
She just seems
bro.
like that type of character. Now,
I
if
can
she
see
becomes
that.
if she becomes an
Yeah.
ally or maybe a Toga like character, that's to be determined.
Yeah.
I would love it if I can see that because she is here. She's one of the ones in Elsie's group, Elstrie's group or whatever. She's one of the three people that she went to or whatever. So I can see if she's like, she fights with Julian, is like, you know what, my dad doesn't even care that you killed my brother. Like fuck that. Like I would have killed you, but like I'm gonna help you kill my dad first.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really interesting, this like character group that Elstree is kind of like separated from the rest of the characters in the scene that we've met this chapter, because you got like specifically the Skull Knight warrior, then you have specifically Arcos's little sister, and then specifically this like maid butler chick. So this must be, there's like writing that's going to be dedicated to like why these three, or four are specifically in a group separated from everyone else too. And I'm really interested in that and getting that writing as well, if we ever do.
So I can see it so in this group there's no sorcerers. So it's like
Yeah.
the sorcerers I feel may not care for the king as much as these four, but they're loyal to him, so they'll follow what he says. But these four have some reason to want to protect the king no matter what, even
Outside
if it
of his
regards.
wishes.
Yeah.
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 So there's definitely some backstory to explore there.
Oh, I need it, dude. This chapter was so good.
Yes.
Maybe
King
this
had such aura.
man, yeah, he was.
Let's talk
raw, bro.
about that. I think it was a great decision to not show the king's face, because I know that we were talking like last chapter about like, bro,
If he actually doesn't have a face.
king reveals are always like huge or whatever in stories like these, and they're like teasing it and like not like allowing us to like see that face. We made like a big deal, or at least I made a bigger deal, I want to say. I think I brought it up last chapter or whatever about like when you finally see the king, and then getting this chapter and they're just like, yeah, but you're not finally seeing him yet.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I need it, give me that shit. And you want to know what, this might be tinfoily, this might be like reachy or whatever, but like, what if the king like kind of looks like Julian for some reason?
Ooh.
I
wait.
think one of y'all said that last time.
Oh, did we?
I think so.
I don't remember
It might have
that
been
in the
you.
conversation.
It might
Oh
have been
shit!
you,
See,
but,
I knew I was tight. Anyway, but that's like what I like halfway through the chapter, I was just like, hey, long dangly blonde hair, not showing the face. What if like there's some crazy like reveal later that like Julian is like low-key related to this nigga for some reason? I don't know how that could make sense, but like I'm trying to think of reasons why they would not show the face right
I
now.
can see if he was like a
So-
shapeshifter or something, because like Elstree would react to.
Oh,
the
true.
scene.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah.
You right. All right, never mind for now.
So one thing that it does remind me of is it gives me like Masashi Kishimoto vibes and how he introduced the Akatsuki, where you
Yeah.
only ever
Yeah.
really saw them with their like holograms, and it casted a shadow over them so you couldn't see
Mhm.
their face. It's
Until it
something
was time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the choice there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope, and just something with the Black Knight guy, the Skull Knight. I can see him being like kind of like a Black Noir situation from The Boys. Something about him, just Skull Knight. Just I feel like he's not gonna say anything. He's like a vegetable or something, but he was
He's on
saved.
timing though.
Yeah, he was saved by the king, but no, like he's a crazy, strong murderer. But like
Yeah.
he's basically a robot. Like he just does what the king, whatever is in the king's best interest. Like if you lure him away and be like, the king said you need to kill, he'll like kill whoever or whatever.
Without question.
Yeah, it's like,
and
yep, I
without
will-
words.
Yeah, I will obey and just never say anything. It's like you try to talk to him, like they knock his head off, and his face is like all for one.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
But yeah, the king, man, he was wasn't expecting him to flex. Like he's like,
Yeah.
choose your words wisely. He's across the room. Everyone was shocked. The nun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the nun looks over. It's like, whoa, this motherfucker fast. Like she'll say it, but he fucking moves over. Everybody's sweating and shook.
Yeah.
Sacrificing his people is disgrace. He's at least got some honor to him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
that like regal nature to him, but like physically he's a presence in and of himself because of how quickly he moved to this room to run up on Elstree like, hey, this is what we not gonna do type
Yeah.
shit. And it's like, oh damn, okay. So you're not just like someone who like sends subjects out to like, deal with whatever you need dealt with. Like you're actually probably a combatant as well
Uh,
by just like the sheer speed that he moved through this room to address Elstree, which is just really cool.
oh my god,
He can back himself up.
I mentioned this last week with Ranger Reject, but the same thing happened in this chapter. The Bane from Dark Knight Rises scene. He
Mhm.
just places his hand on her
Do
shoulder.
you feel in charge?
It's
Yeah,
weird that it happened twice, but you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It's a good
Two
choice.
nickels. Yeah. I'm feeling it, man. The king is cool so far. It's just really this is just another one of those chapters that kind of sets it up and shows like, man, Julian's gonna have a hard road ahead of him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, until he puts that team together. Because,
Yeah.
like, I want to assume that they're not going to confront Julian, like, immediately. You know what I mean? Because we just
Yeah.
came out of, like, a big arc with big fights and big death or whatever. And I know that we got, like, one chapter dedicated to the aftermath to all of that. But I feel like a good follow up to that aftermath burial chapter would be, like, a kind of, a few chapters dedicated to acquiring some kind of crew or some kind of like self-reflection on the way to the next enemy that like builds up Julian's character a little bit more along with TT. And obviously Diana is barely a character at this point, but I can just see a little bit more writing being dedicated to them and maybe the accrual of new allies before the next major conflict. At least that's like kind of like where my predictions lie right now.
Yeah.
I can
My
see
thoughts were
like
like, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I could see, like, they're hiring assassins, mercenaries. I can see, like, some of them jumping in, but they're more minor fights where it's
Right.
weaker characters while they're, reflecting and building a crew.
Yeah. Just to
Yeah.
keep the battle shonen shit going.
Yeah.
There's not multiple chapters in a row of just like, I'm sad, but I'm ready to fight, like back to back. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see a situation like I really think TT will become combative at some point. Like she will
That'd be sick.
maybe like
Yeah.
like
She'll
last
lock
time I
in
was
real
saying,
quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
last I was saying maybe she'll become like an archer or something. So maybe like I'm thinking like in the next chapter, we move away from what we just saw. We just we had the major arc or whatever. We saw Ingval's death, and now we see what happens, from that. So Elstree comes back, and then like we move over to leading into the next arc. We get like Julian and TT and Diana, and they're in the village trying to repair and live, and they're like, oh, we're gonna move or whatever, but. Maybe TT is like, I don't want to, be dead weight. I don't want you to just take care of me. Like I got to be able to defend myself. And she starts training. Even I can see it even being the case where Julian's like, no, you shouldn't have to fight. I'll take care of you or whatever. And then maybe something happens, like while they're
Yeah.
sleeping, like somebody throws a Molotov in the window or something, and TT is forced to like bonk somebody with a frying pan or something. She's like, no, I'm gonna start training regardless of what you say, because you're not taking care of me. Eggvault took care of me all my life. I gotta pay it forward type shit.
I could also
I would
see it
like to see
happening to
that.
where they go into the next town and like run into like a band of human ally like mercenaries that are like salty about the last attack on a village or whatever. Like, yo, this king is tripping. We don't want to be victims of the next time people inside of this military or this royal guard come knocking on people's doors, like we'll fight with you type shit. And then we get some character writing focused on like them building up some kind of a relationship, and then maybe the archer of that mercenary band like walks up on TT like, yo, I know your friend just died, I know you kind of just told us your story and we feel bad for you or whatever, but you can't just be sitting here crying in the background while Julian handles everything. Like you should learn to defend yourself as well, and like we can help you with that type shit. So it can either be her idea, or it could be Julian's idea, or it could be, an idea introduced from an entirely new group of people that we'll meet like relatively soon in the story. But I think I do agree that at some point TT is going to lock in and develop some kind of martial prowess.
Yeah.
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 really interesting thing about the like prophecy though back in chapter 13 is that like you see these characters and like unless they don't age, like they are probably about the same age. So it's like, how does this happen? Because like the one sorcerer that's in the room in the current chapter with the knife, they're on the right side of the page of the prophecy page. They're on the right, with the knife behind their back, and then it looks like the nun is beside her. We don't see this knight on this like eight-legged horse, and then this is, I guess, supposed to be Diana, chapter 13. If people are listening and want to go, but I guess this is supposed to be Diana. But like she's an adult, and it's like these people haven't aged. Like this one sorcerer is still a child, and it's like
Oh, probably
either
magic related
yeah,
to their inability to
Eternal youth.
age. Yeah.
that or like I was gonna say either this isn't actually Diana or this or Diana gets aged up like through magic. Somebody
Oh,
like
sure.
uses magic
Oh.
and forces her to age or something. But then I was just like, these people are looking at a town being burned while they like kill people off on the end. So I was thinking, if this isn't Diana, maybe this is like a prophecy that Elstree saw, but it's her own people, and they're looking at the town that was burned. Like maybe they just got there, they were killing people, and like they look up and the town is burned down. And it's like this wasn't actually like maybe Diana is being framed or something, but I don't know.
Oh,
It's very strong and likely that this character is Diana, but just how she ends up with part of this strike force that was sent to kill her,
yeah.
like these, at least two of these people were not on her side. And one of them, well, no, none of these guys are in Elstree's like attack squad or whatever, I don't think. But, they're in the king's room and, yeah, three of these witches are there. The chick with the hat is second from the left. So it's just really interesting to see how we get here, especially with Diana currently being a baby and, some of these ladies being of some sort of age and not seeming to age or whatever.
Right.
We'll definitely have some time skips going forward to see how this happens.
Oh, you
Yeah.
think so?
I think so. At least one.
Yeah.
I think a time skip has to happen unless Diana gets aged by magic. Like somebody puts a spell or a curse on her and it kinda like the fucking Triceraton and TMNT where they like forced her, you remember
Oh, yeah.
they like grew her to age 18 or something and just threw her in a
Yeah.
war.
Yep.
Yeah.
Threw her
I
in
can
like a
s-
battleship and sent her to Earth or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see some shit like that happening, but we got a lot of cool characters and lots of personalities. We got Arcos'
Yeah.
sister. She on some
As
fuck
hype
shit.
as I am for this like royal guard that we got in the beginning of the chapter, like I cannot wait to see this like personal wet work team that Elstree put together like hit the scene. I need to see the dragon folk like right away. That's where the stocks
Yeah,
are
me
at for
too.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy that like Elstree went to, like the Skull Knight is included, but she told these guys to go find other people. She didn't say like Skull Knight go kill Julia. She grabbed
Yeah.
these guys. It was like go find more people.
Oh, so that means that Elstree's like, yo, we can't do it ourselves, bro. You need to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
put people together for this too. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. She's like, nah, this nigga is nice. We need a bigger team than this.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I was like, you went to this guy. He looks like death. Just do
Yeah.
him. Like why would you tell him to go recruit people? It's like
Right.
so. Yeah,
Oh
this
shit.
she building up a force. Also, I just noticed that on this page where she recruited them, Arcos' sister has the little shark tooth or whatever coming out the top.
Oh, I did just peep that
Yeah,
too as you said that.
yeah. So we got some
She
cool
gonna bite
designs.
somebody.
I think this week I don't have any complaints for art. I normally do.
Yeah,
But
anatomy was
Yeah.
on point this time.
yeah,
Yep.
I think
No
we cooked.
Cyclopses.
Yeah, we cooked this week. We straight. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait to see what these witch ladies about, and I hope the nun, she starts twerking or something before she do some necromancy. Try to see what she about. Yeah,
Yeah, I need that on the handstand.
yeah, yeah. But I think I'm squeezed out for this chapter. What about you, Knox?
Yeah, it was ice water. I'm good too though.
What you thinking, Weeb?
I'm good.
Traffy?
I'm skeeted.
All right, that's going to do it for Centuria chapter 29. And now we jump into Dandadan 172, not 173, which is the newest chapter, because we haven't read that one yet. We're talking about last week's chapter. Those pygmies are scary. Let's see what you got to say about it, Traffy.
My boy Okarun locked the fuck in this chapter.
Yeah.
Like just seeing the panel where he is dashing and diving through everything, and you get to see Momo's reaction to it, and she's like, your physical fitness is next level, and he's like shredded with abs and muscles now. Oh.
Yeah, he on his GG now.
He's gonna
Yeah.
become the new generation's Ken Takakura.
Bro, I saw a crazy theory on Twitter not too long ago
Mhm.
that Okarun is like secretly an alien.
I think I
And
saw
like,
that too. I
Nah.
didn't
yeah,
click it,
no,
but
dude, it sounded so good. I didn't get through the whole thread, and I can't remember exactly. I don't even know if I bookmarked it. Damn, I should have. But like, I remember seeing it and kind of thumbing through the thread a little bit, and there were some pretty good points made in that shit because we don't know his parents, and we never see him like at the crib. We're always at Momo's crib, and like, I don't know.
I
I'd have to
mean,
pull it up, but.
if the shonen manga, chances are you either have one parent or they're never around.
Yeah, that's true
And
too.
nobody really
But
cares that much.
in the story of Dandadan, though, you know, the way that they were kind of mentioning it in the thread is that he could have like some kind of like robot parental unit or whatever that was sent here like in disguise as humans, like similar to the Serpoians or something like that. Not actually the Serpoians, but I could see it in the universe of Dandadan to where they have this like alien, humanoid alien prince, to a throne or something like that they send to Earth for one reason or another. That's like raised by this like robot family unit in disguise, and it just like it made so much sense like at the time when I like looked at the thread that I was like, damn, I kind of want that to be true now.
it sounds silly,
I
but it's
wouldn't
one of
expect them to throw a
those.
curveball like that.
It's one of
Yeah,
those things with Dot. I mean, it's very fitting and kind of perfect. Like if at the end we find out that he's an alien all this time, it would
when he
be
was the alien nerd,
yeah.
at the beginning. Whereas, yeah,
It would make sense and it
Oh
tracks. And
man.
maybe he just like they raised him to be like a human, so he doesn't know of his like secret lineage to the throne or whatever.
exactly type
Nah,
shit,
nah,
bro.
he's about to pull a Ichigo Kurosaki. His mother's human, his father's an alien, and then he gets supernatural powers. Just
Yeah, he's gonna
Yeah,
be
stacking
he's gonna
everything.
he's gonna be British
yeah.
and a dragon. Yep. Yep. I'm here for it. But
Yo.
so we did get the hair getting cut, man.
Yeah, you said that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it would happen, kind of like a Sakura situation, but
it just grew
so,
back.
yeah, it grew back. But Okarun was the one that cut it, so it wasn't like her decision. Like
Yeah,
Sakura's thing was like, Sakura
Yeah.
loved, she cared about her looks so much, and I mean, Ira does too, but it wasn't Ira's decision to do the cutting or whatever. She
Yeah,
was
that was a
Yeah.
big
just
character moment for Sokka. She's like, man, fuck this hair. Let go of me.
yeah. So
I'll
we
do
didn't get
anything to
that.
beat you. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get that with Ira. I mean, we could still get some good character moments for Ira, but still, it happened in a different way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And these pygmies, they don't let up, man. They're throwing these blades and chucking refrigerators and desks and shit. These guys are violent, man. I said that last time. These
man,
are
Yeah.
I could not imagine having my hand sewn to the ground like that.
I'd
Shit
be
has gotta
so
Oh
hurt.
my
mad.
god.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, and
I'd be
there's like no
terrified.
like physical reaction to like pain. So like maybe it doesn't hurt that your hand, or when they stitch your body, it doesn't hurt or whatever. I could see that because there's no like wince, there's no like ouch, what the fuck. It's just like, oh, we're connected to the ground now. These niggas can sew really quickly. What the hell? Like
yeah.
it's no pain.
This shit is actually super cringe to me because like I don't watch scary movies and like stuff like people like I don't know. I'm weird about like gore and stuff. Like I don't like seeing people like get decapitated in movies and shit. And but
Oh,
just
you're
shit, stuff
soft.
stuff like this bothers me because it's like I could feel this. So like when
Yeah.
people would do that shit where they would like stick a needle through their skin or whatever just barely.
Yeah, or
Like this
like
is what I'm about.
the bamboo shoots in under the fingernail torture technique.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
that shit bothers the fuck
Look,
out of me. I
look,
can't watch that.
I
Yeah,
apologize to everyone who's about to listen to this, but when I was
yeah.
younger, I'm pretty sure it was my brother. He used to tell me to imagine sticking a nail on the tip of your toenail and then kicking a
Oh,
wall.
Oh,
Oh my god.
That I could feel it, and it
oh,
would just make me
You-
cringe.
yeah.
yeah.
I remember. I have a similar story. My mom was washing dishes one day and caught like a steak knife under the fingernail, and like I'll
Ooh.
never forget the like scream she let out, and like you know, the following minutes where she was like freaking out about it before she like bandaged it up. I was just like, oh
Bro,
my God, I hope that
Oh,
never happens to me.
my
And
top
yeah,
bro, my top lip just rolled up like the fucking can, the top on the tuna can, yo. Like, oh man,
yeah.
that
And
shit is
shit,
Yeah.
speaking of bamboo shoots under the fingernail torture method,
bro.
that's how they did Stick in like season 2 of Daredevil. I don't know if y'all saw that on Netflix or
Man,
whatever back when
yeah,
that was running, but
Yeah.
they
y'all
hit
see
that
this?
man Stick with that. What's up?
Y'all see this bullshit? I tell these fools I don't like this, and they just start naming off torture. Like, why, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what's
Need your
wrong with
skin
y'all?
crawling.
Bro, my skin is just that my shit crawled off, yo. But yeah, so like I see this shit and I'm just like I'm imagining like when people did the thing with the needle, like they would stick like a clothespin through their like finger skin just barely, but like now
Yeah.
you throw like cloth and stitch it to the floor, like in those little finger gaps. This shit is just ugh.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
they don't make a sound, like there's no wincing or anything, so like maybe it doesn't hurt,
I
but
don't
like
think I don't think it does because they got it in like the little webbing of the fingers too, and you know, like when you get a paper cut right there, it's
Oh,
over with,
yeah, it's
and
game over.
there's no physical like facial reaction to like any of these needles going through them. So maybe it's just like a part of the ability or whatever that these little pygmies have to where
Could
you
be.
don't actually feel that. Because I mean, they're already throwing fucking knives and kitchen sinks and shit at you. That's gonna be ouchies already. So maybe this just doesn't hurt because
it
that would just be
could
too much for these teenagers.
it could just be surface level too, you know, like Yato was saying, you stick like a needle through the like tip of your fingertip, the very tip, so it just
Yeah,
pierces the
like the
skin.
yeah,
But
yeah.
in this
The
case, if
first
they
couple
try,
layers.
yeah,
Hmm.
but if there's that many stitches and they try to like rip their hand up, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, like just
Yeah.
gonna have hand skin on the ground,
Ugh.
like a
Ugh.
full
Dog.
palm. Yeah,
Oh
that's
God, I imagine that.
God, now
yeah.
I remember. You guys remember The Mummy Returns with Brendan Fraser
Of
What?
and
course.
The Rock? Yeah, you remember the little pygmy mummies from when
Yep.
they're like running through the like forest or the jungle or whatever?
Oh man.
God, I just recently like rewatched those movies with my son. Like, I don't know, maybe like 2 months ago or whatever. So it's a little fresh on the brain. Surprised I didn't
Mhm.
bring it up last chapter, but.
Now I feel
True.
like I gotta rewatch them.
Yeah, dude, it's a good rewatch. Like fuck the third one with like Jet Li or whatever that came like 9 years later after the second one, but like that duology slaps.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I wonder, can these pygmies die? Like if like can you just belly flop and kill like 3,000 of them? Like can you just say fuck it, just jump in the air and cannonball, just squish half of the room? Like
Yeah, why does nobody just start stamping on these little
yeah,
dudes, bro?
yeah.
Like,
Like I mean they can't see them, but like
oh, true, 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 true.
still, like I
How do
would,
you
bro. Like if you said they're everywhere, bro, I'd just start stomping like the room was full of roaches, just
Yeah.
elbow drop the counter. I'd be like flipping the desk. These guys are, I guess they're fast or whatever,
Hmm.
because they're like
Yeah.
climbing them super quick and they're stitching super fast. But I'd still be stomping at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But
and now that I'm flipping through the chapter, I think we still didn't get the panel that you were talking about last review about how they should be stitching panels together or whatever,
yeah,
Yato. That's kind of disappointing. I said
Mm.
that should be in the next chapter. Might
yeah,
have to drop. No, I'm kidding. But on the subject of the art, I like really like the art in this chapter as far as like perspective goes. Because like on this page 16, where you get like the ground level pygmy perspective of them loading up these knives to like shoot at them. I feel like Dandadan's always been really good with like perspective and paneling and shit like that. But like putting the camera down here and pointing it at Okaroon and Ira with the knives loaded up is just such a good page in general, but also like
Yeah.
just that panel on the top is just like so striking. I love
yeah.
that one.
I like the plan was solid too. They came up Momo kind of came up with it on the fly. I guess she's just too in the heat of the moment to like explain the plan, and also like explaining it will probably reveal it to the bad guys or whatever. But like just jump around and see where they don't throw knives at basically will tell us where the other girl was. I forgot his name, Kikaru or something. But
Yeah.
for a moment I kind of just forgot that the girl would, like, I didn't even think that she would be in the room. Like I thought she went into the room when they were chasing her, and then like the room changed and she's in a different version of the room, but she was actually in the room under like some nanotech or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering what
I
that little
really like
see-through
that.
blanket was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I like
the
it. It
same.
makes sense. It also makes sense based on what we've seen. She has to like get Momo to like concede the forfeit, and I would assume she'd have to be like in the room to hear her in order to do what she has to do. It's
Oh,
like
true, to
a
fulfill that
rule.
Yeah,
condition. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense
yeah. Good
actually.
Yeah.
point. Good point. Yeah.
Very good point.
But let's be
Yeah.
but again, it's really cool how Momo managed to deduce that she was somewhere in the room, and they just threw a freaking fridge at her.
Yeah,
Yeah, she got scrunched, bro.
Yeah, that's
there's
bro. That hurts.
I can imagine.
there's one thing that I've seen reoccurring in this series, and Momo has amazing battle sense. Like she's usually the
Yeah.
one that comes up with a plan, and then everyone else is just like, "All right, we got these special powers. We'll follow you."
Yeah, and it makes sense that Momo would be the one to kind of be the leader in this way because she has the most experience with this like, you know, occult power system that they're all using because she like has it from her childhood or whatever. It didn't awaken until the Serpoians like, you know, manipulated her brainwaves in the first chapter and like really activated it or whatever, but she's got like the most you know, she goes back with that shit with Granny Seiko and whatnot. Whereas like Okaroon had to encounter Turbo Granny and didn't even believe ghosts were real at first, and like Ira obviously like adopted, you know, her power set from, you know, another random yokai or whatever, like around the same time and whatnot. But like, you know, Momo's been here. You know, she's been hearing about this shit, and she like can detect aura. I don't think that any of the other, you know, yokai using combatants like have ever had dialogue related to like sensing the aura in like other superpowered things or supernatural things or whatever. So it makes sense that Momo would be the one taking the
Yeah.
charge on those kind of things. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
before I forget, I think last review you were asking if Momo's hands had like a durability like maximum, and they do. I can't remember when it was, but there was a point where her hands got damaged and she couldn't like use them, but it was like like extreme force. But they're super
Yeah, I just
durable. You know,
remember there being writing dedicated to like something hitting her psionic like appendage and her feeling it in
yeah.
her actual body earlier in the series.
I think it was like a big blast from like the aliens when they invaded like in that last major arc. But for the most part, her psionic hands have been very durable. Like she caught the bullet train in the like early episode, and then she caught like one of Gigi's like energy balls or whatever when he was evil eye and kicked it at her. I think like
Oh
her eyes,
shit.
Yeah.
her hands are like strong, but like they do have a limit. But I guess she's probably trained them a bit more. But um,
Yeah.
just Momo being like so good at figuring out like what to do and how to like implement these strategies is really like impressive, but also crazy to me because she's not like a nerd. She's like the cool kid, and you know she's like the Gyaru or whatever. I probably said it wrong, but you know she's the popular girl, and you know
Right.
she got a boyfriend, and you know and stuff like that. It seems like you know she's more the type to be watching like loving hip hop and not forming battle strategies. Like
Yeah.
I imagine she probably had a lot of nights, you know, like everybody does it where you're just like in your bed, you're like, what would I do if somebody broke in right now? And, you know, you think
Yeah,
about like how
yeah,
you would beat their ass. Yeah, I throw this desk
Yeah.
down the stairs if they try to run
yeah.
up, and then you know I come flying down the stairs with a drop kick. Maybe she had a lot of like nights where she thought about stuff like that instead
And
of
she's
you know.
always dating scumbags too. Like first chapter, she threw a fucking Chuck Norris roundhouse kick at that fucking dude. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I know she's always having to fight off these horny losers that she decides to date.
all my life I had to fight.
Type
Yeah.
shit, type shit.
Yeah, it's impressive, man. Because it's like it's not you know Okaru is the nerd, and it's like she's coming up with the plans. It's like I would imagine someone like Okaru being you know the one to think up a lot of these strategies, but it's a lot of the time I feel like a lot of the times it's Momo who's kind of in charge of figuring out the thing and you know making the plan work. Everybody else kind of like follows her lead or whatever.
Really, it's her and what's his face, the dude that controlled the giant mech.
Kensei, yeah,
Yeah, those are the brains. Everyone else is the muscle, especially Gigi. He is only muscle.
yeah,
Yeah,
But we love
muscle
him
and
for what we love him for him.
muscle
the
and jokes.
meathead chimp.
Yeah, can't wait to see you know where this goes now that they've squished. I forget her name, man. We'll have it next chapter, but yeah, squished her ass. Where did she get this invisibility cloak, nano skin? I'm guessing this is nano skin since we've seen it before. It could be an invisibility cloak though, but it
I'd
probably
assume
will.
it's
I'm
alien
going
tech.
Nanocin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alien tech probably.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. But you know, Ira, her hair got cut and burned and stuff, so I guess it can grow back. Did they say that
Yeah, it
specifically in the
doesn't look
chapter?
like it doesn't like it hasn't carried over in the art since it was cut. Like it seems like, you know, there's no in the art, it still feels very like uniform and long. You know what I mean? It might not be as long as before, but it doesn't look like it's been cut like in later panels in the art or whatever. So
I'm guess
Yeah, no,
I'm guessing she
it's
can just grow it back.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Right.
the same length because if you go back to the previous chapter, it looks just as long before her hair gets tangled up.
oh, so
Yeah.
maybe when she's in this form, she has like
Complete
the
hair
ability
control.
to regrow it or make it whatever length that she needs to. But then when she comes out of this form, she'll be like, oh man, my bangs or whatever.
Yeah. Because I mean, she's in this chapter. She made like a shield out of her hair after it was cut
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's like, yeah, she's got full control over this hair. Then,
hmm
uh,
Sindel type beat, Medusa type beat.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sindel
Yeah.
from Mortal Kombat, right? She used.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember. She fought with her hair.
Yeah, and she
believe
screamed at
so.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she shouted, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember the screams. I didn't remember the hair fighting, but hey, we'll roll with it. But
So
yeah, go ahead.
one thing I do want to bring up here, though, we haven't seen aliens controlled by humans, but everything in this situation gives or like alien fight, but yet the pygmies are being controlled by this chick. I can't remember her name.
Maybe this is because isn't she? Because I know that with along with Saint Germain and this woman, they both seem to have like a similar aim to acquire the powers of the characters that they've run up on to make them like submit to them or like admit like defeat to them or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if this is just like another ability acquired through that same method from another character, but then like it's still aliens, so it feels
Yeah.
like wonky.
We
Yeah.
haven't seen like Saint Germain try to capture an alien, only supernatural powers.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay, yeah, her name is Koki Kouki Koki Yukishiro. So Koki.
I'll just call it
Oki.
Yukishiro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yukishiro Koki. Yeah, so maybe it's kind of like a Pod Piper situation, and she's got like an item or something that like didn't the Pod Piper like control like play a flute and control snakes or rats or
Yeah,
something?
You
yeah.
talking about R. Kelly?
No, no. But like maybe she's got some kind of object or item that like allows these guys allows her to control these guys or whatever. Maybe they see her as like the queen type shit, and it's like they will obey her as long as she has like this object. Maybe it's a bigger lawn gnome or something. I don't know. she's got something, but I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. We'll read it in a couple of hours or whatever, see where this goes. But yeah, they got her dumbass, squished her up against the wall with a desk. Man, this is somebody got to get suspended, bro. Like,
Pretty sure this is breaking the rules.
yeah, this is breaking all the
It's all a
rules, man.
conspiracy, I'm calling it. It's an
Bro.
all grade alien conspiracy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait a minute, alien conspiracy.
I mean, they
that
show up at the
reminds me.
school.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that thread with the Okaroon alien theory, just so I can like say it on the show and give like credit to the person in case anybody wants to look into that. Oh no, you can't. Okay, so someone did. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to find it. My bad, and I don't think I bookmarked it either.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not the first time.
That's
Oh wait, no, I did. I have theories on Okaroon being an alien, so please hear me out. It's the real CJ 321 on Twitter. If anyone wants to go look at that, I'll like lob it in our group chat right now if you guys want to peep that.
Okay.
All right.
I did bookmark it. Yes.
You can say a line or two from it if you want.
Yeah, so
You got time.
basically, Okaroon's parents pulled a megamind. He's from a faraway planet at war, so his parents sent him to Earth to keep him safe. Since he was a kid, he doesn't remember the details. As far as how he survived on his own as a kid, maybe he had some kind of robot disguised as a human who raised him and acted as his caretaker.
Ooh.
I'd be
Yeah.
down for it, man, and
Yeah.
it would just kind of fit. It would make a lot of sense that the kid that's obsessed with aliens, that's the type of twist that
you can expect in a series
yeah.
like this, but also like in a shonen too, low key.
Yeah, a shonen, and then just like I always wanted to meet the aliens, and it's like, well, buddy, you are
You
one.
are one, yeah, type shit.
Yeah,
That kind of irony like makes so much sense here.
yeah. I'd fuck with that.
Mhm.
But that's gonna be it for me for chapter 172. What about you, Weeb? You got anything else?
No, just those pygmies terrify me.
Oh, you
Seriously.
scared of them for real?
Dude, those
I
fucking
can feel
sink
them crawling
disposal
on me.
mouths. Yeah.
It does remind me of a movie I saw as a kid where these doll babies were killing people, and that shit freaked me the fuck out. I was like 6. I was like, nah, don't fuck with
Oh,
dolls.
you talking
Oh.
about Tales
Puppet?
from the Hood?
Probably, yeah. It was. I think it had black people.
Yo,
It was little doll
yeah,
babies killing everybody.
it's like an anthology series of like creepy stories, and like some dude with like a Don King haircut is like telling all the stories to like 3 gang members that like ran up on his mansion
Bruh.
trying to rob him.
What a
Yo, I
trip.
forgot all about that shit.
It's kind of what it reminded me of, but like, little gnome dudes with knives and toothpicks. Also, yeah, before we move on, like what was this page 7? The pygmies are like firing arrows at Okaru, but like what are the arrows? Like everything else, I get it. They're chucking a desk and they're throwing knives, but like are these arrows just like
I
toothpicks?
think
Like
they're
what are
just,
they,
What
what do they
it's
page?
just
fire?
knives.
What page?
I think it's just
7.
knives.
Well, no, because like one of these guys, like right behind the speech arrow where speech bubble where Okaru's like, yow!
Oh,
Oh
This
yeah.
yeah,
this one dude's holding like this one pygmy's holding something small. That's not a knife.
toothpicks.
Yeah,
No,
it's like,
no,
are they
they're probably
firing
like
toothpicks?
sewing needles.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay,
you're
okay.
so
Cook then.
right.
Makes sense.
All
Cook then,
right,
Chef. I like
you
how they.
cooked.
You see how they hold each other too. Like the like each arrow guy is being held by another guy's feet, who's hanging onto the like rope or whatever.
Oh
Yeah.
So
shit!
these dudes are real like war. But if Koki Yokishiro joins the crew, she's got like if she controls these dudes, she's got an army of little dudes, man.
Like hive-minded pygmy
That's
gnome
crazy.
warriors, bro.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good thing to have on our side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's it for me. What about you, Knox?
I'm good too.
Traffy.
Man, why do I keep being last? Nah, I'm
Because
good.
that's where you belong. No.
Damn.
Oh.
Rip the guy. Maybe not next time.
Uh,
That's going to be it for Dandadan chapter 172. And now jumping into Galaxias chapter 10, Narade versus Chalk. Banger, of course. Weeb, what you
yeah.
got?
I have been waiting for this for the last couple of chapters. Honestly, the way we expanded on Chalk's ability makes it even more versatile. He literally can just take any piece of just stone and turn it into a weapon. And then once that touches anything, like from the point of contact, he can just manipulate it. So even if Nereid, like we saw, tried using rubble to block the attack or obscure his vision, he can just manipulate that to make another spear.
Yeah, that was really cool how he threw the rock up to like block, but like the way that it works mechanically is that the power transfers like through the matter and like cascades outward to just extend the spear past the rock shield that he threw instead of actually having to pierce it. And he can just like
Yeah.
conjure another rock spear from the back of
Yeah.
the shield towards Narade. That was gas.
I love one thing I do have to comment that I really like. It's a tried and trusted trope in just media in general, but a part of me feels like maybe the mangaka is just waiting for this to get an anime adaptation because those panels that just show chalk and then like the water dripping down from the I forget stalagmite, stalactite, whatever it's called,
The
just
lactite, I
dropping.
think, is the
I think
dangly
so.
ones. Yeah.
I think so. And so right before it even touches the ground, flip the page, and in an instant, Chunk is just like less than an inch away from Nereid's eye as he barely manages to dodge.
Yeah, that was good
That is
speed. That was good uses of the page turn to create like, oh shit, what the fuck, we're about to die. It
yeah. The
Yeah.
choreography in this chapter was on point.
was good.
So
Yeah.
Really good.
one thing I do want to point out is I know the last time we talked about Galaxias, there was the theory that he's like a man-made dragon folk, and
Mhm.
I feel like this kind of supports it because so Chalk's reaction to him using his tail to block the stones, it almost feels like
You're not
he
supposed to be able to
shouldn't.
do that.
Yeah, and that would
It could
make
just be
sense
as
if
how his
like
tail is made.
well, I mean, that would make sense if like
Made.
their tails are a part of their body, so they take damage just like everything else. But his tail does look metallic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
So
feel
Yeah,
like that supports
keyword
that.
there was made.
Yep.
Yeah.
made is
Mhm.
important, but it also could be a case where he did say like whatever the spear stabs. So at first, when I first looked at it, I thought maybe the spears like ran into. I guess it is still happening. I was gonna give it a defense and say that maybe the spears don't actually run into his tail, but his tail comes out so fast that it chops the spears, like 6 inches from their points,
Yeah, I
Oh,
and
could
that's
see
what's
sure.
that.
happening. But there's those two like impact like dents on the front of the tail or whatever that's
Hmm.
pointing towards us. So it looks like they did actually hit the tail. So yeah, he's shocked because it's like whatever gets stabbed is gonna turn to stone and die or whatever. So like
But this tail is like exempt from that for some reason, and even Chalk
Mhm.
is like, what?
yeah,
It could just be
this
the type of dragon he is. Like I remember, I forgot who said this, but some mentioned in one of my earlier reviews when I started covering the series is that based off of the one shot for Galaxias, like when the roles were like swapped, it was more like giant kaiju's. Geo was like the skeleton dragon. So maybe that could be reworked into Nereid's tail. Maybe he's like maybe instead of the wave dragon, he's the skeleton dragon or something like that,
yeah.
based on his tail.
Very very interesting considering he was called the wave dragon and it's like he hasn't done anything, wave
Wavy.
to yeah, nothing wavy.
It
He
could
don't
just be
got waves.
it could just be the shock waves he gives off.
Yeah,
His
because we
Yeah.
do see
strength
a
and speed.
pretty big shockwave on this double page spread.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even know what was happening right away at first until like we got the narration box from Chalk. Like, oh, I see. This is what he did. I was like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like what?
It is funny that they do the thing again. So like last time when we did our first review, we were talking about how Chalk had this like, dragons their tail, dragons all get their powers from the tail that connects to the ley lines in the earth and blah blah blah. And it's like it felt like information that like we shouldn't be getting, it didn't feel like information that you would naturally hear in a
Yeah,
conversation between
that it
these
was
guys. But
coming organically. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then like it kind of like the same thing doesn't happen here, but Chalk does go. This is a special spear that turns things to stone. It's like why you could just stab the dude. You don't have to
Right.
tell him. It's just
True,
Yeah.
but it's a try and tested trope of the genre anyway. So
it could
Yeah.
just be his character too, though. Like
true.
he talks about things that like are obvious, I guess, or like maybe he gives more information than he probably should, and maybe that's just who he is.
Yeah, and maybe
Possible.
we're just spoiled by series like Hunter x Hunter and Jujutsu Kaisen that like took that trope and like wove it into, the power system itself. So
Yeah,
that like
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, there has to be a reason why you would say that kind of thing. Otherwise it starts to feel kind of awkward,
Yeah.
or whatever for characters to just, you know, um God, what word am I looking for here? They're just yeah, I'm blanking on it, but it's like the word for not suggesting, but they're just like throwing out that information, offering. Why couldn't
yeah,
I?
Yeah.
Why couldn't I think of that? Anyway, like they're just like offering like important information about how their abilities work and the rules behind them, which will only give your opponent an opportunity to counter if they know exactly how it works. And like that's a big deal in stories like Hunter x Hunter and
yeah,
Jujutsu, and that's why you get those power trade-offs. If you put conditions into your ability that says like, oh, I'm weaker now because I explained how this works to you, so now my ability has a higher output or something like that, to make it make sense. But ever since stories like those, now it's just like, okay, you're like revealing your trump card for no reason, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, now it has to be tied to your personality. Like you either have to be written in as a dumbass who says things like that normally, or you're like arrogant and you like want people to know, you want to talk about yourself a lot, for one reason or another, and like without writing dedicated to that, it can feel kind of clunky.
yeah,
But I mean, this is shonen at the end of the day, so battle shonen specifically. So
yeah.
it's like
So
Yeah.
like Weeb was saying, like that's a normal thing that we've seen throughout the decades of this genre. So
Yeah, they
I
like to
want
spell
Also,
it out for the kids.
I want
yeah.
to throw out a preemptive pause.
good.
But on the
Uh-oh.
last page, Chalk's character looks really good in comparison to every other panel of him. And
Yeah.
I think it's because you
He's
can't see
aroused.
like his lack of eyebrows. And so he doesn't have that like caveman look.
It almost
Yeah.
it almost looks like a picture of a real person in that
Yeah.
specific image. Actually, like he
Low
looks
key.
Like, yeah, dude's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think it's
he's
because you don't get the lack of eyebrows like Trap you was saying. He looks less Oonga Boonga, like less Cro-Magnon.
Also,
So,
I think like based on that last image of that chapter, it almost seems like Chalk is starting to enjoy himself. Like, oh, maybe I'm getting a challenge here
yeah, like, oh,
because based
suddenly
on
this
how
is
Dragon
good
Balls are in the
news.
series,
Yeah.
having a good fight tends to be in their DNA, which is like how they made that rule, where land is governed by the strong, and so how they all tend to have a knack for fighting, like Saiyans.
It would
Yeah.
be
Just
cool, yeah, if they all kind of like they might not want to do it at first, but once like the fish start flying, they're like, hold on, this is actually kind of fucking fun, bruh.
just a
Yeah.
series full of Gokus.
Yeah,
Right.
oh my
And
god,
I'm
yeah.
always gonna love like stories that kind of like bake that like survival of the fittest
Yes.
Darwinism like into the race or into the profession specifically. Like you see that in like I'm gonna bring up Hunter again. It's like, when someone knows that another Nen user is strong, they're like, oh shit, let's see what this dude can do then.
yeah,
Cause like that's
Hmm.
just like excites you,
Yeah.
on like a really crazy like level personally, like from fighter to fighter, and like that's just always such
Yeah.
a good theme. Yeah.
I
And the funny
can.
thing too is that I really like Nereid and Chalk's dynamic. Like their interaction is just so much fun and energetic. With Nereid just trying to get information, Chalk saying no, and Nereid just not fully understanding anything. And then
Yeah.
Nereid just literally like motioning with his thumb, like slitting the throat. Like I'm gonna take you down if rules are governed by the strongest. I'm the strongest one here. Just stating that to the guy in charge.
Yeah, I like the confidence. Yeah, I don't feel like he's been
Oh
in
yeah.
enough fights like to know that he's like
He
a big dog like that.
I
But I
mean,
guess he just
he took out a Dragon Knight with one shot. He took out. Well, he had fun with the Granny. He took out Bronze fairly easily.
yeah.
So far, he's had it pretty easy. So I would love it if this fight not only like gets him like excited, but also shows him a real challenge. Because
Yeah.
while this is still early on, I feel like he would need a real challenge. I think Chalk, based on what we've seen with his abilities and his combat proficiency, would do a good job. Also, let me just point this out. Schmidt being kind of suspicious, just hanging out, I don't know, underneath where the fight is taking place, just
Smirking.
waiting to do something. Yeah,
I
He-
think he wants to talk to him, but he's just there
yeah.
for the entertainment at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Or
for
or
sure.
it's like a point of like study for him. Like, okay, let's see what happens when these two abilities like clash, like for like my research purposes
Yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a
'Cause
mad scientist essentially.
it's
Right.
just
So he's gonna want to see how things unfold so that he can like
yeah.
increase his knowledge on things. Yeah.
And like someone like Chalk, it's like he probably never has gotten, never has had a real fight because he's got like a Shigaraki type ability. It's like if I touch you, you just
It's over
die.
with.
So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I finally found somebody who doesn't just die from my hit, like you didn't die from one punch. Okay, let's fuck around. I never got to hit somebody with a power bomb, let's see what that's
Yeah.
like. So these guys, they got a fun dynamic and just it's nice, it's refreshing to see like a main character who's like calling himself the strongest so soon. It's one thing to they get that confidence later on in the series after they've been, we've seen like 11 battles and 12 power-ups, but like dude is already saying like, yeah, you're fighting the big dog, like the raid is calling himself like a big shot already, and
Right.
that's pretty cool, especially versus somebody who is talking about the strong rule of the weak. He's got his own kingdom, quote unquote, or whatever, and it's like
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
don't.
It's like, bro, you underground chilling in a small part of this big ass world, calling yourself the
Yeah.
strongest. No wonder you're inside of the first 10 chapters, bro. You ain't the strongest. Like, that's not something you
Yeah.
should be like self-declaring anyway. Like when the real strongest shows up, another nigga's gonna say it, not
You know,
himself or
it's
themself
actually
or whatever.
this
Yeah.
actually reminds me of the Luffy Arlong dynamic back in Arlong Park of One Piece.
Hmm.
A little bit to
Damn.
me. I'm
I
getting
can see
those
that.
kinds of vibes. Also, I want to bring up something else that was brought up by again. We're gonna have to at this point we'll have to make him a part of the podcast, I guess. Party Jams. He mentioned
Ooh.
that
Oh, that's the guy.
yeah, but he mentioned that with how quickly this we've got into like chalk and everything, with how quickly this portion of the story has progressed, doesn't really feel much like an arc, more just like a quick pit stop to an extent with some fights. And to an extent, I can kind of agree, but then again, we still have time to explore what Schmidt was doing in those ruins and why
Yeah,
he was there. But like,
Yeah.
a part of me feels like maybe before that month-long break and then that other 1 week break where the author had like health issues, maybe they planned for this arc to be a little bit longer, like to pan this out. But then when they were feeling ill, we got that pretty exposition-based short chapter, and then we just decided, you know what, let's just get straight into the action, and then we'll move on from there.
but I
Sure. I
mean,
think that they
so
should hold down the Schmidt information for a while even. Like I don't think that we
Yeah,
should beat Chalk and
yeah.
then suddenly get like all of the writing for Schmidt like afterwards and then like include the arc or whatever. I feel like if he's got a really good idea for, you know, the writing that Schmidt will eventually receive, that the longer that he keeps it from us, the better.
Yeah.
I would like
yeah,
I'd
you might
like
get a
it
tease.
Hmm.
if we pay him back to Geo for a little bit before seeing the end of this fight. I could see them making it feel more like an arc than a pit stop by like having Geo discover, you know, maybe that this town was built on like an active volcano or some shit, and it's like suddenly because normally, yeah, you're right. You know, you go to a town, you meet the people there, you know converse with them, see what makes them tick, what their everyday life is like, and then you find out, oh, they're being ruled by this bad guy, and you know, it usually takes a couple chapters to get to them. You meet a couple of fucking goonies and beat their ass and shit, and then you find the big bad, what his deal is and shit. I mean, here we kind of we arrived at a town, got thrown in jail, fought a bad guy, and then rode that bad guy to the big bad guy. And it's like there's normally a lot of stuff in between, you know, meeting the final bad guy. Maybe, you know, maybe Schmidt will be the big bad guy, or maybe Chalk will like not finish the fight. Maybe the fight won't go and get concluded. Maybe it get interrupted or
Maybe.
something.
You know,
Oh, imagine.
something
Oh,
something
go
I
ahead,
just
Jaffe.
something I just thought about. And I in no way am I an author or good at writing, but I do think a way that the complaint that was addressed in regards to explaining the abilities could have been addressed is if like Geo would have met up with Schmidt, and while they were fighting, you know, Schmidt was talking to Geo about Chalk's powers. That would have
Yeah,
made it
Yeah, that
fit a
that would
bit
have been a lot
more
better.
well.
yeah. He's like telling Geo, like Geo's like, my boy Narad's got this, and he's like, nah, Chaka, all he's got to do is touch you with this like fucking hands and it'll turn you to stone. And he can, you know, and just to go a little further into it, like even if you try to run and take cover, he can manipulate the earth. And if that shit touches you, it's game over. And then we just see Narade kind of flipping and dodging and having to deal with it without like getting the information given to him.
Yeah, and then that would also tie into, you know, one of the main characters is talking to Schmidt trying to get information while the fight's happening.
Yeah.
So it could have given her a bit more to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's also just interesting because like, you know, he's like, let me talk to Schmidt, and he's like, I don't have a reason to put a word in for you. So it makes it seem like Schmidt isn't here, and like you can only reach Schmidt by like my recommendation. Like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, go holler at Schmidt and let him, you know, let him know that some dude's looking for him. But Schmidt's apparently like right around the corner, so it's like Chalk doesn't have to do shit,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he could just walk from around the wall. It's like, yeah, you know, I saw the fight. You wanted to talk to me. What's up? And then, you know, it's like, okay, well, Chalk kind of fought for nothing. Like he's not hiding, you know, he's not protecting Schmidt or, you know, protecting this information that they might get because dude's right there just chilling.
Just Nereid is bad news and he wants to take him out.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see how this pans out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this fight I feel like is going to be a nice one.
Hmm.
I want to see. I guess maybe we'll chalk throw in some drop kicks or something. Since like the hands are bad news. If he touches you with the hands, you apparently turn to stone or whatever. So like, is he gonna?
He
You know, is he
touches you
gonna?
with any pebble around him that he throws at you,
Yeah.
it's over
Yeah,
with too.
Yeah.
So if Narade gets hit anywhere besides that tail, it's wraps.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. This is all really cool. And you know, remember the place that the jail is built on like a river system or something. So maybe that'll come into play. Maybe they'll bang up this place enough that like it crack. They reach like a lower level of the foundation, and they reach that like cold water river, and maybe like fucking Chalk can't swim or some shit.
And now that I
Maybe.
think about it, like Schmidt has to have also peeped that that Nereid's tail isn't affected by Chalk's powers as well. So either maybe he already knew before, if he's really that like high level of a mad scientist Kenjaku type who like knows everything secretly or whatever. But like if it's really just him studying the fight to like gather, you know, information for research, you know, and analysis purposes, and he didn't know already beforehand, then I think that he'll like take even more of a liking to Nereid after seeing that, oh, Chalk's shit doesn't affect his tail. I wonder what that's about. I need to know everything about that, like type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun chapter.
So
It was
good.
pretty straightforward action or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good action. Page turn into the spear out in front of the eye was crazy.
Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
raw. That was raw for sure. Was not expecting him to just be very gung ho and like just, you know,
Let's get this over with.
yeah, you're talking, I'm done talking, bro. Spear to the fucking eyeball.
That was so good.
And
Can't
yeah,
praise it enough.
Yeah.
you pointed it out when you said he broke the rock off to become the spear. I didn't notice that. I thought he just conjured the spear. Like I thought I didn't look at the rock being broken off on the right panel. I just saw the left panel and was like, "Oh, he just kind of like created this stone from nowhere and then made it big." But I see he broke it and then
Oh yeah, you
modified
got
it
the
into a
crack
spear.
sound effect.
Yeah. So I thought he just had it or whatever. But
Paki. Yeah.
yeah, but I think I'm spent for chapter 10. What about you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good as well. It was a bus popper for sure.
Okay.
Can't wait for
Mhm.
next one.
Okay. That's going to do it for Galaxias chapter 10. And now we jump into Ranger Reject chapter 159, Those Who Bring the End. And this was a girthy chapter, man. I can't lie. This was a pretty hefty one. Negi dropped it on the table and the table cracked.
Yeah.
Big stuff.
Real girth.
Yeah, real girth is happening here, man. So we start off with Yukino, Angelica, and I feel like every time she is involved, it's hilarious. She's not even like, I don't think she's supposed to be a funny character. Just her situation, like her circumstances and everywhere that like life takes her just is hilarious. You know, she went from I want to say she was in blue first, and then she ended up in like I want to
Yellow.
say green or yellow, and then she ended up she's flip flopped around, and now she has ended up in the Kuroko squad.
He's
And
like Buggy the Clown.
yeah, bro, I love Buggy failing upwards. He's my goat. So Yukino
Mhm.
is my goat too by default. So she's like, where did I go wrong in life? You know, and she's
Mhm.
thinking about like all the stuff that happened in her life, like when she passed the ranger exam by pity. I completely forgot she got punched in the face, and I had to go and look, and I was like, was that in the assassination arc? Suzukiri punched her in the face in the woods and then
Oh
like
yeah.
almost killed her. It when they were trying to assassinate Chidori, and she, you know, she punched the shit out of her. She flew across the forest into a tree, and then like Suzukiri like choked her out and was about to kill her. And she's like, "What was it when the person I admired disappeared?" And I was confused about this because I was like, I don't remember her admiring anyone. I checked with V, and V said he thinks she's referring to Suzukiri, which is even funnier because Suzukiri is the one that knocked her across her fucking face. So it's like she's been searching and looking for Suzukiri, and you know she admires Suzukiri. Suzukiri was about to kill her, like inches away, moments away from killing her. So you can
Some people just like that.
I mean, she don't know, but it's just funny that Yukino's, you know, her situation has now led her to being in the Anbu Black Ops of this series. So now she's transferred into Pink, and they're like, you know, we don't have a will, we will follow commands and all that good stuff. What you guys think about this chapter? You fucking with it?
Yeah, no, I love this whole change of command, like to continue off of what you were just saying, them finding out that, you know, Greenkeeper now sits at the top. But also, I just have to mention how much I love Runa's character because she's just such a goober. And then the reveal of Yaka Kebab's like true form, that's cool too. Um, More than that though, I like how D is recalling, you know, how these executives were before and how they've changed now. So like Yakekobab was
We gonna
cold.
pronounce it different every
Yeah,
time we
every
say
time.
I've never said that name right, yo.
These names are so hard to pronounce. I swear.
Cab.
Just different
Yakekakab.
every time. I'll keep that going. But no, he says that she was cold blooded and merciless, and now she's dim-witted, which I'm actually curious because we've never gotten clarification on like how in control these executives are, or if like their personalities fused with the individual that they became a part of. So is this like the evolution of Yukiko Bob's personality,
Your Kika
or
Bab.
is this Runa's personality? So I'm curious about that.
I think it's fully her, but it's just kind of like a Chainsaw Man fiend situation. So yeah, Keiko Cobb was probably a human originally and got turned into an executive similar to Izome's situation, but she just found the body for this girl. You know, maybe killed her, or maybe she was killed, or maybe Kisu and Runa like saved, fucking Chocobo and
Well,
Yakeiko Cobb or whatever, and they were just like, hey, we'll take your bodies.
no, because they were a part of the IRA. They injected themselves with the special juices.
The
Not
special
not these
sauce.
two.
Yeah,
Not these two.
yeah, I'm
They
pretty
were
sure.
already execs.
No,
No,
they
they
weren't.
they were in they were already there in the fucking
Yeah, they were.
in the zoo. And then remember,
Mhm.
like D already remembered them from the past. So
Not Laffy.
No,
they wouldn't be some
because I remember, like they were running from that man-made executive when Sakurama, the real Sakurama, came in to protect them.
Maybe that was
At
before.
it was at the very
No.
end of the Dreamy School arc, and I mean, really, the only
Oh
thing
yeah,
that
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
I think they were just still just being silly though. Cause
I-
like
Yeah.
I'll
I
have to
don't
go
know.
back and check.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking to myself as I was reading this chapter, I was like, I don't know if I can do like too many more reviews without like actually sitting down for like a whole week and just reading back through this entire manga because I'm starting to like feel like not as confident with like my memory of like what's
Yeah.
all happened in this crazy ass story. Like I want to
I mean, to be
dedicate
fair-
like a whole week to just rereading this shit, I want to say.
Yeah.
This is
I mean,
definitely
to be
one
fair,
of those
yeah,
series.
the series has been pretty dense.
Yeah.
It's a chunky one. What
It's
you saying,
dummy
Trey?
dense.
Oh, this is definitely one of those series where a reread is pretty essential.
Yeah, and I've already reread it once. Like I remember back when we were reviewing it for Project Manga, there was a point where I think we were only like 60 chapters in or something like that, and I was like, before it gets too far, let me spin the block on this real quick. And
Yeah.
I
thoroughly
enjoyed the Bylong exam arc a lot more on the second time through
Yeah.
for multiple reasons. Yeah.
It has a lot of those moments similar to like early Undead Unluck, where it was like a chapter would come out and then something would be revealed or like explained, and it's like, wait, didn't this? And then you go and flip through, and you're like, okay, chapter 87 just came out. It's like, hold on, let me flip through, and it's like, oh wow, they kind of hinted at this in chapter 13. And
Yeah,
then
there's actually an
Yeah.
insane
Yeah.
level of foreshadowing in the earlier chapters of Ranger Reject.
yeah, it's a
Foreshadowing
lot,
is a
and-
huge theme.
Yeah, no,
foreshadowing
seriously.
was Yakushi's whole thing too. Yeah, bro, the foreshadowing is crazy. But yeah, my thought process with Yakeiko Kaba and Chocobo was that they existed, because D remembers them. But then I think when Sakurama met them in the school, they were probably just like playing around and just like being silly. But then he came and stabbed the thing. I think they would have been fine, but he killed it, and then they were like, "Oh, my hero," because they're like good people now, and they have this whole like returning the favor thing. So like even in the three-way battle when Blue Battalion was like saving them, because remember they were like running from the monsters in that arc, and then Izome was like, get away from them, because like somebody saved them. I forget who it was. I think the Afro guy in Blue Battalion had saved them or something, and they were like, thanks a lot. And it's like, why are you civilians here? Why are you guys on the battlefield? Izome was like, get away from them, they're not normal. And then like you see their legs were like melting or something, and then on the next page it was the page turn when the portal came, and then the fusion came out, and then that's when
Yeah.
they kept going. And they always had this like thing where they always wanted to pay somebody back. Like they were willing to fight with Izome at first, but then when they realized who she was, they were like, you know us, you've been around the block. And then they were like, you helped us, Blue Battalion helped us out a few minutes ago, so we'll let you leave if you leave us alone. So like they're not merciless killers anymore, but I think they've always just been playful and fuck around with people. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I can speak better on this if I do a reread. Maybe there's something I missed. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm right. Who knows?
Especially going into like what feels like, you know, closer to the end game than it's ever felt before. It's like Negi's gonna be firing on all cylinders as far as like crazy information and
Yeah.
character arc conclusions and reveals and shit like that that I feel like are going to hinge on a proper recollection of like everything that came before.
Yeah.
So I feel like a reread will be beneficial to like our whole team as we continue reviewing these chapters. But
Wait,
one of the bigger
wait.
things that
No, in this chapter, they say it. Runa
Oh.
says, Ol Yakushi said he wanted to test those drugs, you know. I was there for the experiment. Do you remember me, Yakakabab?
Yeah,
Like-
I think she was just there, like, to witness it. But I don't,
Yeah,
I
that
think
doesn't
she-
confirm that she actually took the drug.
I guess that's fair, but
I mean,
that
'cause she-
also
'cause-
makes it seem like, you know, they were a
Take
part of that
the
experiment.
L.
too.
No.
It's just like how would Dee recognize this? Like, because she doesn't transform in this scene. Dee just remembers what she used to look like.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
And if she was speaking to like a human that became Yaki Kokib, then like
a kid.
why would the dialogue be like this?
Yeah.
It just seems like over time, like they changed. You know, I think they did say it in a couple chapters back, and they were
Yeah,
like,
and he even
love
says
changes me or
like,
whatever.
hold on, bro. He even says like, and now she's here with such a dim-witted look. Spending a decade on Earth has seriously softened her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why would he?
I
Why would he?
know.
Why would he say that to himself?
I don't know. That's.
Yeah,
take the
we smoking on Laffy today.
All right, I'll
Sorry.
take the
I'm
L for
sorry.
now until I do my reread and come back with a structured argument.
Yeah,
Y'all-
hit me with that.
y'all don't drop
Then.
them in the comments, but we know.
Nah,
If-
V,
look.
come stomp this nigga out with us.
Look.
If you know, you know.
Knox.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
always come with the receipts. You know this.
You do come with the receipts though, so I'll hold my tongue for now.
Nah, if your
But,
receipts are after 30 days, them shits don't matter, yeah.
True, you can't return shit no more
yeah.
after that.
It's over with. But
I'm dead.
yeah, so this chapter was like super interesting, man. Lots of stuff happened. You know, chain of commands changed. Green's at the top. Green's controlling the Kurokos. Green's pulling all the strings. He sent some guys to go and meet up with the Neos, and he sent another batch to Milky Way City, which is the city they all live in or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing the plan was to meet up because you know when they're like having this conversation, the one Kuroko, I think this is the yellow chick that took the chop. I can't tell very well, but the one that busts in the room, she's like, "Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Can I take part in this discussion?" And she meets some dudes in there like having a business meeting discussing like the stocks in their company and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oops, wrong room." I think their plan was to like Green sent them to tell the Neos that, you know, the plan and we're all going to get on the same page. Maybe to have like a Ranger, you know, V Ranger battle or something. But it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like the Kurokos are doing what the Kurokos are known for, which is like assassinating people.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I also want to point out like the growing, I mean, there's always a continuous growing of humanity within D, but like the first thing he does when he sits down is he asks how Arabe is doing, basically. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he's like, where is he? And this is like his
Yeah,
new
where my bro at?
bestie.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to kind of bring up about this conversation that D is having with Sakurama and Yakety Yak about like how you know he's like, you know, that invader was Izome and we invaders were created by the Rangers, and you know they're like, I guess that's what it comes down to. You know, they created an enemy to justify their existence, and there's been a lot of conversation around D's character and exactly what he wants to do. It's actually like a pretty major point of criticism inside of the community, from what I've noticed anyway.
Yeah.
As far as like where is he going? He's spinning his wheels. He doesn't know what he wants to do, and like it feels directionless. It's like, does he want to kill the Rangers? Does he want to kill the executives? We don't know. And it's like, nigga, neither does he. You know what I mean? But I feel like despite the fact that it's an extremely complicated thing to, you know, consider and contemplate for a character like D, I feel like this conversation that he's kind of having with them makes me think that we might have like that potential end game for his character arc, in the form of just like, you know, because she's like, we don't have to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not like he's like I feel like like literally have to do that because that's what I was made for. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
feel like if you're going to outwardly say that, and then you're going to have a character, come around and say, actually, it doesn't need to be that way, then maybe the way that D kind of like wins here is just by not giving them the fight that they want. You know what I mean? And the fight that they, literally created this entire situation and dynamic and dichotomy between Rangers and aliens in the first place for, because it's all about acting out a script, and like you gotta go by like how the story is written. You know what I mean? We talked about like how that works on like a meta level as well, with the fact that like no matter what he does, he's still the character in a comic book. You know what I mean? So I think that like a really cool conclusion to his character, and it maybe not, I don't know. I could just see it at the very end being like him living normally as like a person who didn't actually destroy like all of the Rangers and didn't actually destroy all of the executives himself. And he's just fine with that because it's like a point of defiance where he feels like he beat them by like not, following the rules that
Yeah.
they set up for him, and like, the reason why they created him in the first place. It felt like a rebellious W for D in
Yeah.
my mind when I like
Mhm.
pictured that future for him. So
Right.
I'm about to go off, but
crazy.
so in regards to what you just said, Knox, he has already taken that step with the anticlimactic end to the last arc, so we
You're
can
right.
see
Yeah.
him going in that
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, for sure.
What I like though is that he's a contrast to your typical shonen protagonist in the form of like Luffy or Naruto, where their goal. They always say it. I want to be Hokage. I want to be king of the pirates. Um,
Hmm.
and with D, we don't know what he wants. And so when we get to that final arc, the final part of his character journey, and he's in like this final battle before he makes whatever decision he makes, he's going to have that character moment where he finally realizes what he wants, and it's going to hit so much harder than
Because of
like
how indecisive he's
Naruto.
been throughout the
Yeah,
series. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
But
Yeah.
the actual going off part, let's talk about Sakurama this chapter,
Yeah.
because we
He's a
get
clown.
we get that swirly pattern on the back of his head.
Yeah, we did. I
And
thought about that when I was
yeah.
reading this
Yeah,
shit.
swirly right
He
there.
got the swirl.
And he's talking about, if the enemy doesn't exist, they wouldn't have to either. Let me tell you our goal. And then when he says their goal about wanting to free the Sky Fortress, his face is completely shrouded in black. And I
Yeah.
feel like Sakurama has his own alternative goal as well.
He is kind of
Yeah.
a psychopath to an extent.
Well,
I mean, he
also
got his
told-
he chopped his own arm off. He got
Yeah.
fucking like burnt to a crisp in a fire. You know what I'm
He
saying?
watched
Like,
his sister,
Yeah, the
him
man
and
was
his
right
sister
in the
got
head.
chopped up.
yeah, he watched his parents die and shit or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, yeah, like that would like
He's
turn
been through a
anyone
lot.
into a freak.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I'd argue I'd argue D does like know what he wants. It's just that it kind of changes. So like at first the goal was kill the Rangers, but then when he discovered that the executives were still around, he got to see how they really treated the invaders, and it was like fuck the execs. He saw Peltrola left exes to die, and they didn't really care about anyone, and he was meeting these humans, and some of them didn't suck as much as he thought, because his only interaction with humans was like the Dragon Keepers and the kids who were paying $13.99 to get tickets to come say go for it, go die. His interaction with humans were with the kids that were watching the show and with the Dragon Keepers, but then he gets to meet some of these other humans, and they have these other reasons for wanting to be here besides like just wanting to beat up the invaders. A lot of them have like really deep reasons, like their families being killed and stuff, and then he learns how much of this is fabricated and shit. So the plan's changing. He still, says he wants to kill the Dragon Keepers, but he also says like he's not gonna let the executives have the last laugh. So it's like I can't wipe out the Dragon Keepers and then the executives win. So like he even said around like 50, he wanted to take them out too. And then after the three-way battle, when he came back, he said that his plan was to currently take out these chains so that he could free the fortress. So like what Sakurama is saying here is D's last like outspoken plot. Like the last thing that D said he wanted to do was to free the Sky Fortress, and it required the Dragon Keeper and like the second in command to somehow like release the chain. I always just thought it was like a key code that maybe like Red and the JFC had, and then Yellow and his JFC had, like they all had a key and had to stand and one side of the room, put the key in and turn it at the same time to release the chain type of thing. So I don't know what the mechanism is, but like this freeing the Sky Fortress thing was D's last like spoken plan, and I guess that's part of what he wants to do. Like he doesn't want them to get involved. Like he said, he wants to free them. He doesn't want them to be, I guess, held as collateral or as like hostages while he tries to do what he wants. So he wants to free them. And so this is perfect. This is, freeing the Sky Fortress. What Sakurama is saying is what he wanted to do anyway.
Yeah. So a while ago, I made a character analysis on Sakurama, and the idea of the video focused around the fact that, he is such a great deuteragonist, but I'm 90% sure in that video I started speculating that Sakurama would turn into a hidden antagonist for the series. And this chapter kind of, it didn't give me any definitive proof to back that up, but it started making me think that again. And with the way that Negi likes his twists, I can see, it jumping from yellow to green and then to Sakurama as like the last step of the journey. Like this could be something Sakurama knows that D wants, and he's saying that to use D.
Yeah. I can see it. And it just being like in the end, like D wants things to happen his way. So it's like, when like Yakushi was praising him and stuff like that, he was like, "Are you like talking down to me?" So like, even if you feel like you're coming across to D with like the best intentions, like he'll think that like you're either like mocking him or like trying to use him. And a lot of times he'll say, "Fuck that." So I
Yeah.
can see like this, seeming like a great plan and something that D can't pass up, but it's like Sakuraba, this isn't how the fuck I want to do stuff. I'm going to continue doing shit my way.
Yeah.
I
It's
can,
it's so twisty.
yeah, it's so deep and just like Knox was saying earlier, something I forget what he said, something about the meta, but there's a lot of like meta things with this series, like
Hmm.
Sosei saying, I want to kill Yellow and complete my story arc. And then, them talking about Sakurama here talking about that episode. He's like, Bachi Bachi episode was so bad, nobody even talked about it. You get laughed at for even trying. And what the Dragon Keepers wants is, what the Dragon Keepers should get is a non-dramatic ending, something that wouldn't inspire anybody. So like, it feels like a lot of the story is just kind of like trying to shit on things that you would normally see, like I think Hisui had a line in the three-way battle where she was like calling out Yakushi for being a fake fan and talking about how like fake fans come up with their stupid head canons and stuff. It's a lot of like spitting at like the people who say like this is how a story should be told, you know
Yeah.
like you see it a lot now with like you saw it a lot in the earlier days of like Kagurabachi, where it was like, no, Sojo isn't that great of a character because Zabuza was much better in this amount of time, and it's like it feels like they're kind of like spitting on the faces of people who kind of criticize Ranger for not doing things that like they feel like it should be. Like at this point in the time, Naruto was dupe de dupe doo, and D is still super weak. Why isn't he strong? And why hasn't he charged the front door with a machine gun and shot all the Rangers? This dude sucks. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of the storytelling is against the normal. I feel like.
Yeah. So I wanna kind of open up the conversation to everyone. So we flipped to the last two pages. What do y'all think Green or Chidori's intentions are here? His final plan for Dragon Keepers versus Dragon Keepers.
Mm. Usually assured destruction. Can't have a show if all the actors are gone.
True.
Yeah.
but I mean, it also kind of, I don't know. It feels like just cutting D out. Like like if say like it's three people in a company or whatever, and one of them doesn't have the same vision for the company, and he's like, I'm going to change things, and so like the two guys instead they just come up with a different way to run the company without that dude. They're like, he's like cutting out the invaders, so it's like the story will go on without the invaders because now I'm making a story about Rangers versus Rangers, and there's no need for invaders at all. And it's like interesting, but it also really this whole like Chidori as the antagonist thing is an interesting take because I don't know like how serious it is.
Yeah,
And
and
like talking
I
about killing or Shinya, I wonder like does he have Shinya tied up or like does he have Sosei like wearing a mask so nobody knows him and it's like if you don't come and beat me then this guy that you don't know who he is what is actually Sosei is gonna kill Shinya on my command or something or will he just like kill Shinya himself? There's a lot to see and do, man.
yeah, like is he trying to challenge all of the Dragon Keepers or does he have Dragon Keepers in his back pocket? Like but I feel like with the last chapter, Soma would probably be on Chidori's side. And then maybe Noah, because she did spend a solid chunk of time with Green. And so that really just leaves the Sosei clone. But would he fight for Yellow?
I don't think Sosei would fight for Yellow. I think he would do whatever it took to kill him, especially if
Well, so
um
the latest iteration of Sosei,
oh the new like
the
okay
Red
replacement.
Keeper currently, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's like who's fighting who?
Yeah, I think he would step up. There's still some pieces that are just like, why is this such a big checkmate to them that Green is doing this? There's some stuff I guess the new chapter will probably explain further, but him trying to like remove the dragon the invaders from the equation is really interesting.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
who would take his side or whatever and who were the opponents? Like is he expecting the Neos to come and fight him to save Shinya? Like why would they do that?
Hmm.
because they're the new heroes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's Dragon Keepers versus Dragon Keepers, not Dragon Keepers versus Neo Rangers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I guess the new red would have to be and maybe like people from the battalions and stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It's just if that like whole announcement came out of like not that it came out of nowhere, but like they just turned on the TV and he was already talking too. So
Yeah.
it's like we missed probably like a minute or two of Chidori like saying like the master plan or whatever to the people on TV. So it's like we don't even have the whole story. This piece is missing on purpose, but this is all really crazy and a revolt like Green is starting a revolution within the Rangers, and it's all part of like I was saying last time. This it feels like with the Ghost script or the Phantom script, there's some sort of like prophecy. Like they have to follow it. It just feels like he's going according to what this script says. So there's like something in the Ghost script or Phantom script. I keep calling it Ghost, but whatever
Mm.
he's doing is according to this Phantom script. And it's like what else is in here? Can't wait to see.
Yeah.
Um, one more like thing I wanted to say. I had thought about it, but somebody also tweeted it, so I couldn't. They tweeted it, and I saw the tweet before we recorded. But um, the jester thing, a clown used to perform for us at the orphanage. It helped my sister and I smile when we were down, and it's Hibiki, Cicera, and Tokita.
Tokita.
And Tokita
Oh
also
shit.
does the face paint,
Oh
like a clown.
yeah.
And
Oh.
so they have those like similarities. They both went with this like clown aesthetic, but like we at first it was just like okay, this dude dresses up and he wears face paint, and maybe you thought it was like either a Hisoka thing, or maybe he just thought it was cool, or maybe he thought it was badass or something, or maybe he's just a weird guy. And even Sosei, when like back when Sosei didn't have a second in command, Cicera was like, "Why don't you just make Tokita your like second in command?" And he's like, "Ew, that guy, he's scary. Like the kids would be afraid of him. Like, are you serious? That dude looks like a monster. Like he looks more like a monster than the invaders." And it's like it seems Takeda was going for what the clown was doing. Like he doesn't seem interested in the moment, but he was older than Sakurama, and I'm sure he saw Sakurama, excited to see this clown perform, and it was like, well, if that makes kids smile, one day when I'm a dragon keeper, I'll be, the type of dragon keeper who makes the kids smile, and I'll, paint my face and stuff. And then Hibiki's doing the same thing. So it's like they're both going down the same path without kind of realizing it, I think. And it's just interesting, like thing to notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them doing the face paint thing, and then Sosei calling him like a monster for that, saying that he looks like too freaky to be like in the spotlight when he was doing it for a good reason, most likely. But
Yo,
Yep.
it was a girthy one, man. There's
was
uh
a bus popper.
yeah, we
there's
definitely
a
got to
lot
do
So
going
some
much
on.
information.
rereading to get the full context of everything that's really going on. But we're back to destroying the Rangers according to Hibiki. So how they will do that, maybe we'll find out in the next one. What you guys got anything else for 159?
Now I'm skied it out.
Just that Chidori actually looks really cool at being drawn like the villain.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we
Chidori.
know it's not as black and
Yeah.
white as as he's trying to make it seem in this like public transmission
Yeah, he got to put on for the TV show for the kiddies and shit.
type
That and
shit.
Keiko Cobb. I want to see what the rest of that body looking like. Type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right? You need to
Cabe.
see that Yaki Bob body.
Yeah,
Yo.
show me them yaki cakes. Yeah, let me see what
Yep.
turn that thing around. Let me see the back of that portal, girl.
Not the portal.
Bro,
Yeah.
I hate you.
Try and see that. But yeah,
No.
that's gonna be it for chapter 159 of Ranger Reject. Cannot wait to see the next one. All right, and now we jump into Ichi the Witch, chapter 9, Ninth Hunt, the Hisame Magic, part 3. Knox, how you feeling?
Dude, what a fun and like funny chapter this was. Descaris, like dialogue, sit back and let the goat handle this had me crying, bro. Dude,
Yeah.
I love her character like so much more now after that one dialogue bubble than I did. Like I always thought she was great or whatever, but her getting dialogue like that is just like, oh my god, that's so like on point and hilarious to have that modern of dialogue in this like kind of, I don't want to say medieval, but it definitely don't feel as modern of a society as ours, obviously. But
So it
yeah.
works, but I think that was I saw a translator or somebody who does like translations. They said that in this line, I think that she just said the greatest ever or something, but it still fits,
Oh, sure, sure. So this
and
was
it's
like
a
this was like a
localization or
translator
whatever.
thing. Oh
Yeah,
shit. Okay.
but it still
Actually,
fits.
I just don't like. I don't like when translators do that kind of stuff. It reminds me of like Steady in Jujutsu Kaisen,
Yeah.
the original like official translator of Jujutsu, like did like a dumb self insert line of dialogue for Gojo, like when he was fighting Jogo and Hanami in the Shibuya train station or whatever. He's like, ready, steady, run, and like ripped out
Oh
Hanami's like
no,
tree branch eyeballs. Yeah, I was just like, dude, fuck you. Like
that's
The
this
guy didn't
isn't
even
your
lame.
try.
yeah, this isn't your story to be doing shit like that. And he ended up being a weird ass pedo who's in prison for the rest of his life anyway, so that's what
Oh,
you get, bitch. But
Get him out of
yeah.
here.
Yeah, but yeah, I just don't like when translators like take liberties like that. But I mean,
Yeah,
whatever. At least it does fit. But
yeah.
I thought that was an Osamu Nishi thing, and I just thought it was fucking hilarious. But whatever.
I'm gonna look for it
Anyway,
because I think I know who tweeted it. I'm gonna look for it after this and put it in the comments.
yeah. I mean, it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day, but it's just like, bro, like I wanna see the vision of the creator as closely as you possibly can. So like trying
Yeah.
to put your own funk on things just feels like I don't know, get over yourself type beat. But anyway, this fucking Hisame magic is fucking hilarious. I thought that the little Baroque style trendy, you know, uh Cruella de Vil hat with the lace drape over the eye would have got her ass, but she's just like, nope, you all suck. And I have no idea what Ichi is like trying to set up here, like at all. Like I was
no.
like genuinely
Turn her
confused
into
by
some
the
fat.
yeah, I was just
Turn into-
genuinely confused by the end of the chapter about like, and I know he says like, "Yo, I'm not finished. There's more to go here," and I know it's going to like eventually make sense. But like, I was ready
some
for it to
fat.
make sense at the end of the chapter. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Weeb.
Sorry, my fault. No, I was gonna say make make some fabulous looking sashimi
Yeah. No, dead
or
ass
sushi.
though. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean, if you can make it into a loophole like that, it'd be pretty hilarious.
yeah, I think that is the goal to like turn her into something that's beautiful looking. Like he cuts her up into a way that's like very visually appealing. You go to a restaurant, you want the food to look nice, so
Right.
you like cuts her up in a way that's like beautiful. With this, she like reforms. It was like, wow, that was actually a good job.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, dude, you thought outside of the box. I wasn't ready for that, and I look pretty good, and this won't kill me. So I mean, like, yeah, I guess this counts as like a fabulous design. Technically, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on the chapter.
Oh no.
Now let me start with, I don't think this chapter is bad at all. Not one bit. However, out of the 9
Uh-oh.
chapters that have been released, I think this is the weakest one.
Okay.
And I'll explain.
I
The-
disagree, but I'm gonna let you finish.
All right. So the reason that I say that is really up until the let me see, the panel where Ichi says, "I want to try something," and he's got that like devilish look on his face.
Yeah.
It doesn't really move the plot, and it's a retreading of characters that character traits that we're familiar with at this point. So those two mixed together, it just kind of feels like it's not going anywhere, just because what they're doing is failing.
Sure, yeah. But at the same time, though, like, does every chapter really need to move the plot forward if like certain things serve other purposes in the
No,
writing, right?
no,
Like,
they
we still
don't.
got like a lot of good character stuff for the protagonist team and the Hisame magic that like works towards feeling like something new has been added rather than the usual like plot progression that we're used to from chapter to chapter. At least these scenes feel like they're serving multiple purposes at once, despite not moving the plot.
Yeah,
Which I
and
which I which I ultimately makes me think that it's not that bad that the plot didn't move. But
like as I said, I think the chapter is good, just
yeah,
relative to the other chapters, I find
sure.
it the weaker out of the bunch.
Yeah, I said I didn't agree, but I actually do agree with you. I was just kidding. But
It's
yeah.
it's like chapter 2 of volume 2. So it's like, yeah, they got their foot in the door, they dropped the meat on the table, and they started the new arc. And now it's like, okay, let's give a little bit more like, to these characters, so that they aren't just like the guy with the knife who cuts things and the girl that's cool that does cool things. It's like we got to see, Kamugi. We got to see more of her. What does pretty look like to her? What does beautiful and colorful look like to Kamugi? And we got to see her try, do her whole brand thing, and see her, girl failure as she gets fucking denied, literal garbage. These flowers and shit. This shit is garbage. Get it out of here. No imagination. It's just fun, and it's like these. Like I was saying before, these are just the type of things that people like 100 chapters in wish that we would see in a series like a JJK or something like that.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
like so for this chapter, I think the highlight of it is the characterization of the Kisame, right?
Isame.
Hisame.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the peak of the chapter. And then it does kind of. So last chapter, we were kind of theorizing that. God, I am awful with names right now.
Mugi.
Yeah,
Kamugi.
Mugi was going to get Hisame. And
Hmm.
now it seems like, this is going to be another one added to Ichi's. And
You don't like that?
not that I don't like it. It's just with the characterization that we're getting for this magic, it feels like this will be another, like chibi character on Ichi's shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to
Oh
see where that
God.
goes.
Yeah, because the shark has a lot of personality. Even though, like, Kamugi's attempt failed, I still feel like something can happen to
I
where
was just about
Kamugi
to
gets
say
it.
that. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
literally just about to say that because, like, at the end of the day, like, this is kind of her bag. Like, as far as like how she was initially introduced, right? Like, or am I misremembering like how Kamugi kind of like came in?
Kam-
Like, wasn't she?
She was a male girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was the male girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But,
Never
like,
mind. For some reason, I thought she already had writing dedicated to fashion to some degree before encountering this this
Well,
magic.
they did show her. We did get a page, and it was like Kamugi's belongings, and it showed like her hat, her jacket. Her jacket was highlighted or whatever, and it shows all the
Yeah,
pockets and stuff, and Kamugi's bag, which is an infinite items bag type shit, and stuff like that. So they
yeah,
showed her, the things that she keeps on her person. So I mean, it kind of does show a little bit of fashion, but still, just Kamugi, being thrust into this situation, sent to hunt a fucking magic, and they kill people, and she normally is in the office and delivering mail. So I think it still fits. Like maybe maybe the when it's all over, like she Hisame is like, the thing that you did is great, but like you got like maybe it looks at Ichi and is like, you have Aurora and I don't really get along with him, so I'm just gonna hang out with her instead or whatever. Something
okay,
something like that. Or
Yeah.
like maybe Ichi's like, I don't want you, Kamugi, should have you or whatever, because she has ice, the shark has ice powers and Kamugi does like little water stuff. So like you guys would pair up nicely or something. I don't know. I still just see Kamugi somehow getting this power and not Ichi.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
I see that too. And I think that's a part of my problem with the way it looks like it's going, because, Hisame like definitively says Ichi gets the last try and then I'm killing you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Mm.
it doesn't have to go that way. Maybe she throws like, maybe he turns into a fucking shark fin stew, and Kamugi is like, oh wait, you know what this needs, and she throws like a basil leaf in there to fucking make it look perfect or something. It's like, you know
Like,
what,
because you
kid?
applied the garnish, I'm gonna be your magic.
Yeah, it's like you cooked, man. It's like he almost had it perfect. He turned me into a beautiful dish, but he just forgot the garnish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
But I mean, it was a pretty straightforward chapter. Not a ton happened. Like you were saying about the plot moving, but it was a fun chapter, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Osamu, what is it? Fucking goddamn! I just forgot their name. It's at the top. I'm an idiot.
Osamu Nishi?
Um, yeah, Osamu Nishi. I feel like that's what they really specialize in. Like, not every chapter of like Aruma was like major, groundbreaking, but they were always fun. And then, it would tie into something. And like the things that happened in chapters that weren't like major plot moving chapters would always get like referenced, or something. Something from one of those chapters would get brought back up, and so, oh, like, oh, remember that time you guys had that fashion show with the shark? And then somebody might be like, oh, what, you guys met the Hisame magic? And then that might be a whole thing. Somebody might have always wanted to kill it or some shit. It could come somewhere down the line. It doesn't have to be super plot heavy right now. It's still,
Plus, I'm thinking that like after a magic like this, like after a trial that's so like comedic and unserious, that like a major villain is going to be introduced like relatively soon.
Like
Like
right
probably like
after.
right after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got Uroro, then we go into the Inazuri, and then we go into the Hisame, and it just feels like if some kind of serious tone shift isn't introduced like soon, then we might actually start having problems with like the direction of the series, at least from a Shonen Jump standpoint.
yeah. I think a lot of it
Mm.
is just the way people view manga that get in Shonen Jump, because it's
Yeah,
not to keep going back to Aruma, but Aruma didn't actually like introduce an actual like antagonistic character until like chapter 19. And then
right. And then it was that one dude with like the glasses who had like
yeah,
the
Yeah.
the two crazy personalities, where one was like skittish and like timid, but then he was really like a mastermind or whatever, who's like a
yeah,
sadistic weirdo. Yeah,
yeah. And it's
Mhm.
like jump just needs something fresh. We don't have
yeah,
to jump into this, doesn't have to evolve into Jujutsu Kaisen in 10 chapters.
Yeah.
It could just be something fun, and then they occasionally have big bad stuff. But I mean, we know that like it's kind of all dressed up as in comedy. Like Hisame Magic on like page 10 or something, postmodern. This is the best attempt yet, but it's still garbage. She's got
yeah,
arms and legs like on her. Like these are, I guess,
right.
human body parts. Like this is still like grib shit. It's just like
Yeah,
painted comedically. Like she's still
exactly.
she's
She's
still
still on
murdering
some,
people.
yeah, she's still on some murderous evil shit, but she
Yeah.
just has this like flamboyant, like jovial and like funny personality or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? But I definitely do think that after this, it makes a lot of sense to introduce some kind of like gravitas in in an antagonistic like character or magic to some degree. Like I think it would be cool if it was like, you know, a villain person instead of like a serious evil magic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I think that
I'll
that
get that.
is
Yeah.
just I think that that's like just what the series needs after an arc like this or after a magic like this because that would be I don't know. I don't want to say unexpected, but like in the context of the plot so far, it's like we're hunting magics, but then like here's a shitty mage that comes along that's just like some kind of hater and wants to like throw a monkey wrench in the situation to some degree. I don't know. I think that could be cool.
I can
Yeah.
definitely see like a antagonist rolling up and then maybe Descatus recognizes them or something like that and she goes to attack and they kind of just counter her or overpower her and it really sets like, oh, this person's stronger than the greatest witch, and it
Yeah,
kind of sets the stakes.
Yeah.
yeah,
I can see it, kind of like a Kakashi and Guy situation, but like they meet up and, Guy is normally like, the second strong guy, but like maybe while, Descara has been out playing with Ichi and shit, this other person has, trained and learned some dark evil magic or something and they gotten strong. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's just, so and so, Rumpelstiltskin, he's number 2 to me or whatever. And then like she goes to like silence him, but he's like too strong or she or whatever. I can see like a rival to Discard. That'd be cool, or
It's
just
just
some character. Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say like some character that just does not like the idea of Ichi even existing. Like, no, men cannot be witches, and they just hate Ichi to the bottom of their like heart.
What if it's just Mashal?
Like, there's just a mash character.
Yeah, like just a really strong dude who's just rolls up
ignores
and he's like,
magic.
I don't need
Yeah,
magic.
Oh
Ignores
yeah.
logic.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be kind of crazy if there's just a guy antagonist and he's just a musclehead and he's just like trained crazy and he's like, I don't need magic at all. He just he tries to give Ichi the hands and like just fucking punches and kicks.
I mean,
That'd
it's
be
possible.
wild. Yeah, and the men there they got them muscles or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, this is what chapter 10.
Yeah.
I think something that Ichi is gonna Ichi the Witch is just this is after 9. Ichi the Witch is just gonna have to like break through like the expectations of people. Like once people get past like what they expect and what they've come to expect from a Shonen Jump manga and see that like you don't have to be JJK or My Hero to survive in that magazine, then I think people will start appreciating it more. Because I'm still not seeing like I see people liking it, but it's not getting as much praise as I think it should.
right.
We need to
Especially
change
here in the
that.
West.
So because people are meatheads and they're waiting for like hype raw shit so that they can like go to the timeline and be like, look at my goat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking for moments so they can be like, this greater than arrow that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
9 chapters in, and this is already better than Black Clover type shit.
Yeah, it is, but yeah.
God damn, it was my fault. Y'all can blame me for the layup.
Yeah, a little alley oop type shit.
Yeah, but something just on the first page. I don't know if we ever knew Discarus's like shoes. Like she's got like a thumbtack on the bottom. That's what it looks like. Like I didn't know that. I thought it was. I mean, it's probably not a thumbtack, but it just looks like a tack.
Yeah, I
It's-
didn't peep that. She got some pretty unique like heels going on here.
Yeah.
Yato is
it's-
Need
over
her to
here staring
step
at.
on me with those.
Oh man.
Look,
mean-
look.
Yeah.
You were first, Knox. You were
Yeah.
first.
Oh shit, yeah, you right. I forgot that you pulled that receipt out on me.
You a freaky frog, and we know it.
Damn.
No.
She just does it for me, man. Shit.
Yato. I don't want to hear you. You over there staring at her feet.
Hey.
Yeah, what's up, Quentin Tarantino? What's your deal with the feet skis?
I have no defense. I want them.
Yeah, you trying to look into portals and shit?
Yeah, they ain't see that segment, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was Ranger.
Yeah, but yeah, this shark, she's I'm ready, man. I want to see, like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna wrap up the Hisame. I was about to call her Kisame, like from Naruto. I'm sure they'll wrap up the Hisame magic in this next chapter
For sure. Maybe even the
Yeah.
first half of the next chapter, and then we move
Yeah.
on to something else by the end of the chapter.
Yeah, part 3. I'm ready for, I'm always just excited for like big arcs. So I'm trying to see like something where it's like part 20. Let me see what that's
Type
hitting for.
shit.
So I think that's gonna be it for me for this chapter. I'm just flipping through, make sure, because I don't want somebody to comment like, you guys didn't mention the burr. But yeah, it was fun watching them do the little brainstorm and fucking Discars doing the whole "I'm the goat" thing and
Yeah. Did we know that Ichi was scarred the fuck up like that?
No, we did not.
no, yeah,
Dang.
I mean, he survived the wood since he was like 5.
Yeah, it makes
Makes
sense for
sense.
sure. I just didn't remember if we had actually seen Boy with the scars before.
yeah.
Nah.
It's funny that Kamugi's like, boy, she can't look at him because he's half naked or whatever. I've never seen a naked man before. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but this is cool. I did for some reason my dumb ass thought like when I saw the scars in my mind I was like that's like paint like he body painted, but those are most likely like you said scratches from
Yeah.
fighting fucking saber-toothed tigers all his life. And then he jumps fucking dives right into a shark mouth like this boy's crazy. But yeah, that's all I got for Ichi the Witch chapter 9. What about you, Knox?
I'm squeezed.
Traffy?
Skeeted.
You won't last this time. What about you, Wheat?
I think I'm good.
All right, that's gonna do it for us. Chapter 9 of Ichi the Witch. And now we jump into Astro Royale, chapter 28, Tarasu versus So or Sue. I'll say So. Traffy, let's go ahead and let you take this.
All right, so in regards to this chapter and last chapter, I feel like chapter 28 addresses some of the issues that Knox specifically mentioned in regards to chapter 27, but it also confirms some other issues. First off, let's talk about addressing the issues. You mentioned, not getting like a decent amount of backstory for the dude.
Wrestler.
Yeah. Whereas in this chapter, we do get a solid, flashback for So. And
Yeah, we got the kind of flashback I was expecting for Bro in the last chapter for
Yeah.
for So. Yeah.
yeah, and so it addresses that. But the issue that it kind of confirms is that these are what appear to be one and done fights. So it doesn't
Yeah.
look like we'll be getting more of Wrestler Dude.
He's not getting back up. He's not
Man.
doing the I ain't hear no bell.
I still think that it can be done. Like
It can
even
still
for,
happen. It
even
can
for
still
her,
happen.
like even though she's like cracking and bleeding on the ground, making a scene, I feel like it can still happen. But like, it's very unlikely.
Bro, she overdosed, bro. She looks like Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction right now.
Yeah.
I just feel like it.
She's done like dinner, G.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Traffy. My bad.
What I can see happening is maybe Wrestler Dude isn't done, but he'll get back up towards the end of the fight and he'll go and grab her, and then they'll all run away.
Sure.
That's kind of
Okay.
how I
I
could
see that
see
happening.
this going, because yeah, it didn't really look like that move would finish him off, and I don't think Ice Guy would really care to grab up his teammate, so it would fall on the wrestler guy to rescue her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I like I felt like so what you were saying you felt like it made what Knox was saying feel better because she got a backstory and the other dude did. I kind of feel like this kind of just highlights the points that Knox started and we were kind of making last week. I feel like this chapter made last chapter worse because like
Literally.
like it
Yeah.
didn't feel better. Like I mean it was cool, but just like we really didn't see any of like the aftermath from last week and we jumped right into this fight and then at the end we jump like right into Hibaru's fight and they're already swinging and stuff. Like Hibaru's like what did he say, finally caught you on like the second to last page and it's like so you've been like chasing him running around
Yeah,
and like
y'all been
Yeah.
tussling.
finally caught you. And then he's like, gotcha now. I can't use your gun. We'll see about that. He throws the pill in his mouth on the final page. And it's
Yeah,
like,
he
that's
ate a perk 30. He about to
Yeah.
turn up next chapter.
Listen.
It's like is it the perks like your final resort? Like, don't you pop that at the end? Like, oh man, you know, like
Yeah.
so it's
I
just
know, yeah.
like it just feels weird because it's like when we finally see them get to throw heads, he's already popping his trump card, and it's like this arc I feel like would have benefited from being longer. This definitely feels like, oh man, I don't know if this is if this
It's
not
kind of
saying
bare bonesy.
Yeah.
not saying it's gonna get axed, but this feels like the type of thing that you would do if you're gonna get axed in 10 chapters and just want to hurry up and
Mhm.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We gotta wait and see.
But there's still like so much that would have to happen before, like just because of like everything that was set up in the very beginning with all of the factions and the the um the teams associated with them. Like we got like a lot of name drops. There's a lot of like ground to cover. Like if this were to get axed, like that would be such a awkward ending considering
Yeah.
that there's just no way that we could cover, everything that was initially set up in the first couple of chapters by the
Yeah.
time that final chapter hit.
And
So,
not
yeah,
saying I think it will be. Like I still
yeah,
don't think it's going to be axed, but this just feels like
kind of
the
axy.
series. It just
Yeah,
feels like the thing you do when you're packing your bags in 3 weeks. But it's
right.
just like everything that happened so far could have been longer. Like the fight with the wrestler could have been 2 or 3 chapters. This fight could have been 2 or 3 chapters. And I can't remember which of you just said it, but like it would feel a lot better if the wrestler comes and grabs her and they bounce. Because like
Yeah,
even
it
in
could have
this
been
fight,
One Piece style too, where you like start the fight and then it reaches like not a climactic point, but like, a point where like the fight starts and then like that maybe the villain is on the advantage and then all of a sudden the protagonist like, enters like the second phase of like their strategy and then it cuts to the next fight and then,
yeah,
that fight starts, and you kind of like rinse and repeat that formula similar to like how the fights went down in like a Nice lobby, where you were constantly changing perspectives based on tone shifts in the current fight that you were following. You know what I mean? They definitely weren't like one and done chapters where the entire fight happens all at once. It was Zoro was fighting Kaku for like 1/3 of the chapter, and then it switches perspectives to like Sanji and Jayabura, and then like when something crazy like changes in their fight, then it switches to like Nami and Khalifa. Like you could have done something like that instead of trying to, because I understand the idea of not wanting to spend too much time on a secondary character's fight for multiple chapters like this early in a new Weekly Shonen Jump series. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you want to get to Hibaru versus Himuro, you know what I mean? But you don't. You also have to try to find a way to strike a balance between like how much screen time is appropriate, for secondary characters before you get to that main event. But this just feels like too little, and I
yeah.
feel like there's kind of suffering from the idea of going, okay, let's just give one chapter to each of them, because now it feels like really bare bones and flat, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate because the previous arc had so much juice to it that
Yeah.
got us like so excited for the future of the series, and then to go into this next arc with such a good setup for this antagonist inside of Himuro, and you're kind of like rushing through things just to like get to that, and it's like, well, why'd you even have him pull up with little niggas in the first place? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, I don't know, it just feels awkward and clunky right now, which is
I
disappointing.
I think what will be extremely concerning here is if Hibaru beats him and then Himaru drops like a huge knowledge bomb that kind of like super propels it towards the end game. And that definitely could be done if,
Yeah.
it is heading towards an X.
But also
Yeah.
Kinpa has to beat this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Himuro
have
can't.
to they have to escape. Like this has to end in a stalemate to where like no one loses. Like technically the protagonists win because they forced a retreat from the villains. Like that could be, the angle that they're going here, but like outright defeat with this situation just feels so bad to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just and like just looking at the pacing of the fights, like the last chapter's fight, it started at the beginning, but then this fight feels like it started in the middle. Like they're
Right.
already, she
It was a fight. That's it.
yeah,
Nothing
but it's just
special.
like, but even then, it wasn't even a fight. Like it was her attacking him,
It
and
was.
he didn't throw a punch. He didn't do anything but stand there and block. And then she took a pill. She perked up. It got stronger and kept trying to attack him. And then
Yeah,
just
he just blocked until she
yeah,
OD'd.
yeah, he blocked until she killed herself. Like what? It
Dog,
wasn't even
One
a
way
this
to win,
fight.
I guess.
this is garbage.
Yeah, this
Defense is the best offense.
this
No, nigga, I'm sorry. That's low key dog
yeah
shit.
this is probably the lowest I'll give like for this series so far. This chapter just
Yeah,
it's like bro, it just feels like this. It feels like a 10 chapter arc, but like we jumped in at chapter 8 or whatever, and it's like okay, so like we start the first fight at the beginning, we start the second fight in the middle, and then Hibaru's fight is at the end because dude's already popping his pill like at the end of the
yeah.
fight, like
It
My
feels
theory,
so weird. Yeah, go
my
ahead, Weeb.
my theory is Himura actually has a more perfected one with no side effects. And he just let his lackeys have the one with side effects just for shits and giggles. Or to get rid of the ones with side effects.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
I could see
Because
that.
because based off his personality, I don't think he would risk those same side effects on himself.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe his
Ooh, I
pill
can see
won't like
that. Yeah.
bust him up.
He's a big scumbag.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would
This
actually
chapter,
like amplify his, villainistic shittiness if, you
yeah,
have these like, you know, um these zealots that will do anything for him and you give them this like shitty lesser version, like basically fentanyl laced,
I think
superpower drugs, but then you take like the perfected like soma version of it with no side effects.
I think that will work really well if like in the next chapter, like as he's popping the pill, the other kid from the previous chapter is there to see and he's like, wait, you popping that pill, like that's gonna like murder you or whatever. And then he sees that like nothing happened. He's like, wait, your lackeys took those pills and their eyes started bleeding, but you're fine. What did you give them bad drugs? And then his barber's like,
Yeah.
bro, not only are you a scumbag, but you're like also shitty to your teammates.
Right. Like, why do
Wait,
my eyes start bleeding, but like your muscles are bigger and you just got like 3 extra inches on your meat? Like, what's going on here, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, bro.
why am I like bleeding out of every orifice, but you just like turned into the golden man?
You got the
so
rhino pill and we got fucking whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
wait, did Harumi take a pill?
I think so.
Because
Yeah.
I'm looking through the previous chapter and I'm
I
not.
think no, he's doing it this
Uh,
chapter.
No, we're talking about the last guy too, though.
the
What
the
happened with him?
wrestler.
Yeah,
Oh, the wrestler didn't take one. Dude, he's gonna get up and eat one then.
yeah, it's he's got to get back up.
Yeah,
Yo, okay, hold on. Ken Wakui, I might have spoke too soon.
You might be
But
cooking.
Uma Thurman is not getting up.
No, there's no way.
And her
Uma
fight
Thurman.
was fucking buns, bro. She got a good flashback and a bad fight. At least the wrestler Mickey Rourke or whatever has like potential here to actually get back up and do some more shit. But Uma is out of here.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that probably means that she's gonna like. I don't want to say it means that she's gonna eventually become, on the protagonist side or whatever. But she definitely did get like a lot more pathos than the wrestler dude. So
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
can definitely see Terasu being like, bro, I feel bad as fuck for you. Like you said, you got a drug dealer stepdad who like whooped on you and
Bro.
shit. It's like come fuck with the Yotsurugis real quick. We
Bro,
got a
and-
better family for you type shit.
When I read that, I was like, "This ain't crazy." I grew up with a drug dealer stepdad. My life was hell, and okay, so now you work for a dude who's giving you pills. Like, is that
Right.
not sick? Like,
Actually,
are you
that
okay?
is insane.
Like, are you okay? Like, like
Yo.
my dad had just drugs and trash bags and money all over the place, and how do I fight back? I fucking pop pills for another guy. Like at least my dad probably never gave me drugs or whatever. Her dad probably beat her ass if she got near his weed and shit. But it's like now you hanging out with a
Yeah.
dude who shot your dad in the head, which crazy by the way. Weekly Shonen Jump to show this dude headshot, blood against the wall, brain matter against the wall, and then just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead and pop these perks.
Yeah.
Huh?
I did not think about it like that, but that is actually very crazy.
It's like, is
Yeah.
she okay? Like, has she been brainwashed? Are you,
It's that
Not-
Stockholm syndrome.
bro? That is
Probably.
literally, yeah. But yeah, the fight. I mean, I really can't. I can't say this was a good chapter, man. Like, I like the
Is
backstory.
this like what Terasu's like 1v1s are just gonna look like? He just like blocks
hope
as
not.
long as he can until the person like it's just like
I hope
attrition
not.
based, like
Nah.
yeah,
I hope it's a
like
wake-up call for him to actually learn how to fight.
I
he
need
needs
him
to start
s-
doing some Captain
I
America
was
shit.
about to
Like
say
they need
that.
to give him some writing for
Yeah.
like him having like crazy spatial awareness where he can like throw his shield and have it like ricochet off of like 3 walls and then hit you in the back of the neck or some shit. Like I'm trying
Yeah.
to see some offense with this shield, bruh. It can't
Or
just
turn
be
the
support
shield
and
into-
defense.
Turn
Yeah.
the shield into like a barrier, like a full circle around himself, like a dome or something.
Oh yeah, and then just fucking cannonball on your shit, jump off a
Yeah.
skyscraper and just crush your
Oh
shit.
no!
Something.
Combo. He turns himself into like a barrier ball, and then Hibaru
Hibaru
just
punches it.
And
Yo.
they call it like the pinball machine or something. Yo.
Dogberts.
Yeah.
See,
I
there's
don't
so
wanna-
much. There's so much they can do with this series. We just need to get
Yeah.
that far.
Yeah, I don't want
but
this to be the series where the fucking fan ideas are 10 times better than everything that happens in the
I
series.
know, but at the same time, like Ken Wakui can write his ass off when he wants to. So it's
Yeah.
like,
True.
and he's already shown so much promise inside of this power system so far. So it's just like, it feels like, is this like editorial that's making this shit feel so weird? But like, he's a fucking seasoned veteran at this point. Like, they should be letting him cook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should just let him do what he wants, yeah. And I mean, I
Mm.
felt like he was for the most part, but this chapter and last chapter just felt weird. Like this arc, I felt like was cooking, but like they could have just like if all these complaints still go away
If the fights
wrestler dude,
continue,
yeah, if
yeah.
wrestler dude
Yeah.
gets up after like a chapter, and if she either gets up or like is escorted out of here, and they don't like die / like get thrown in jail / drown or whatever, like if they get up to fight another day,
Yeah.
even if they fight like later, like even if these characters return, later, I still feel like wrestler dude gotta get back up, bro. He
Before
gotta do
the end of
something.
this arc,
Yeah,
like
he gotta like trip up dude or something, bro. Like you gotta throw a pencil at this nigga, something, bro. You can't just let that kid power bomb you and then be out
Yeah,
cold for 3
one
hours.
shot German suplex from Twink
Yeah.
Man is nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
he
your
cannot, bro.
career should have been over. I agree with the wrestling commissioner now. You're fucking washed.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like what? Give me that mask, bro. Take these tattoos off, dog. Like you are fake.
Yeah,
Get him out of here, bro. Like,
Poseidon my ass.
yeah,
Right.
Poseidon. More like fucking.
give me that fucking
SpongeBob.
luchador mask. I'm wiping
Yeah.
my ass with that shit. You're a fucking disgrace, buddy.
Yeah, he need to get up and fucking grow 2 more arms and summon a shark and eat this nigga asshole open. Yeah, like he need to kill his.
what?
He need to murder this little
Where
kid.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
He need
Oh my God.
to beat the skin off little dude, man, and there need to be blood and physical damage. I need to be able to see damage and fucking raptures on his fucking.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You need to grow 2 more arms, summon a shark, and eat his asshole.
That'd be hilarious.
Why you
What
repeat
is
it, man?
wrong with you?
Yeah, you're supposed to repeat it, man. Oh shit!
Mm.
Something I forgot. God fucking damn it! Party
What'd you
Jams,
forget?
Party
What'd he
Jams.
say?
If you're listening, Party Jams, I forgot again. But 2 episodes ago, he said in the comments that he went back and listened to our previous episode for the Ichi the Witch segment, and he said it was in fact me that called Kamugi joining the crew. So suck it.
Oh
buckos.
my
And I
god.
forgot to say it 2 Ichi segments in a row, but I ain't forget this time. We
Come
did it.
on, Rick Burt. You're supposed to be
Anyway.
Team Butterscotch.
Nope. It was Yato, a Yato dub. Watogami. But yeah, man, this chapter, man, it felt weird, man. It felt like chapter 2 of a fight.
Yeah. Nah, seriously
Yeah.
though.
So
I mean, we'll
Yeah,
see what
we'll-
happens next time though.
Hopefully it gets
but-
better.
Yeah.
yeah, but Kui, don't let me down on this next one, man, because I was not feeling this one. You had me going with the meathead suplexes and shit, and I was rolling
Yeah,
with it
I
until
knew that you were blinded by
Yeah.
that. I was like, Yato, bro.
Yeah.
Just because it's a German suplex don't mean it's gotta
Nah.
be peak fiction.
Bro,
It was beautiful though.
It could be 2 doo-doo turds suplexing each other. That shit is peak, bro. If one of them
Oh,
turds
yeah.
does a drop kick, I'm in there.
I
But-
hate this nigga, bro.
But yeah, man, that's for me. I'm squeezed out and just disappointed with chapter 28 of Astro Royale. What you guys think?
Yeah, we really
I'm good.
squeezed water out of a rock with this one, bro. This was
Yeah,
like
good
low key
amount.
nothing burger ass chapter. We talked
Yeah.
about it for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I've been
Oh.
betrayed.
Yeah, before I wrap this up, so the gun thing was crazy, the drug thing was crazy, but also on this like second page, she's like, "I'm not some bitch like you who can't defend," but they censor it. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering what that swear word was.
Yeah, because he's like, you can only defend and not fight. So I'm guessing she called him a bitch.
I thought she called him a pussy at first.
That maybe
I
that
was
yeah.
like,
That works too.
damn.
Either one works, but it's just funny to see like you censoring that shit in the fucking magazine. So
Yeah.
And
she's
that's
got a
like
dirty mouth.
3 pages before you see someone get shot in the head.
Yeah,
Right.
this was a crazy chapter for for what it did have
For
and
subject matter. Yeah.
yeah. Don't play this on TV. But that's gonna do it for chapter 28 of Kinwakui's Astro Royale. Hopefully 29 is a banger because 28 was not. And now for our final segment of the night, we jump into Kagurabachi, chapter 56, Daybreak. Weeb, go ahead and tell us your thoughts.
I gotta start making content on this because I called the ending of this chapter so long ago.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah, I said Hakuri was gonna push through and get at least one of the enchanted blades at the last second, and that's what we got.
Nice.
Okay.
Toby Mune. Oh man,
Obi.
It was
Told
a
y'all
photo
Samura
page
wasn't
spread.
dying.
Beautiful.
No, wait, no.
Hey.
Let Weeb finish cooking because I'm getting that ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. The build up, the way everything was paneled, the crow's feather, the black feathers, it just fit the mood beautifully. Great way to end off the chapter, hyping you up.
Butterscotch.
Samura is the GOAT. Hakuri is the MVP of this arc.
Curry,
100%.
he is busting his brain. He is very
2
much like
arcs
his
in a row.
father.
Yeah.
His father was on that fucking proceed even if my body explodes, to the gas leave my body.
Till
Hakuri's on the
the
same
gas
shit.
leave my body,
Yeah.
nigga.
Hakuri is pushing it, bro. His head is about to fucking pop like a watermelon.
Do watermelons be popping like that? I guess if Gallagher takes a fucking mallet to it.
Yeah, maybe you drop it on the ground and put some rubber bands on it. This should be busting all over the place.
True.
But I don't know, man. I'm feeling like
I feel like Samura's still gonna die, gang.
Yeah, I feel
Me
like this is a
too.
big
Me
death
too.
flag. This is you don't kill off your coolest character without showing them be cool, the coolest
Yeah.
they could be.
least
This is
once.
like, this is like Gojo.
Yeah,
You gotta bring Gojo and have him like throw Sukuna around the town and beat his ass a little bit before killing him, because like otherwise it's like, okay, that he was a hoe. Like,
Yeah, the last thing he needed to do was use his like whole kit. Like you don't show Samura and have him die before he gets his enchanted blade and goes crazy,
Exactly.
especially after all of this writing setting him up as being, the one that trained Chihiro and having this really cool fighting style with the echolocation. And it's like, there's no way you don't put this sword in that man's hand, before you kill him.
Yeah, but on
like,
the
you can't ignore the death flags. Traffy, you're on borrowed time, okay?
look, but on the other side of that argument, if he dies with his blade, that kind of tarnishes the power that they're supposed to have.
True.
true,
Sneak attack.
but yeah, I'm thinking sneak
The
attack. Like,
Hishaku has to
attack.
have a contingency plan for if one of these sword bearers eventually get their hands on one of the swords, though.
yeah,
Like, there's no way that their entire, strategy here hinges on them never encountering this possibility. They're just too tactical and too, like, competent of a villainistic force for them to not have something for this situation, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and like this was, I had to double check. This Toby Mune was one of the swords that Hirohiko was like floating towards him. The other one, I guess, is Uraha's sword. But like, I guess the swords didn't make it, because it's super weird how this happened, because Hirohiko was like flying these swords to where he and Chihiro were, because I guess the
Right.
intention
But
was like,
that was interrupted because Hakuri, like, has priority over the manipulation of the sword because of his technique.
yeah, it's just super weird though to have like, you see that the sword is being brought to this character. It's kind of like, don't show like the smoking gun thing, like, you show the
Chekhov's gun.
yeah, Chekhov's gun, like don't you show him about to get the sword and then just kind of like off screen have the sword get teleported away, and we don't see like Hirohiko's reaction. But like,
True. Maybe we do get it next chapter because there is still time for that. But at least there were multiple swords en route to Hirohiko. So maybe when the next one gets to him, he could be like, damn, I wanted both of those. What the fuck happened to the other one?
Yeah.
And I'll have a sword stump for a hand.
So the main thing here is, if they keep these swords as powerful as they're supposed to be, then the main way they would take down Samura would be by using Uraha's sword, which they'd have to kill him first. Which he could switch to being a prime target, since he is now the weaker of the two.
Right.
Actually, there is a way. This has been stated in the last couple of chapters in this one. The sorcerer that they're fighting his spells creating tree roots. Samura can't sense those since those aren't living, breathing human beings that have malice and killing intent. So he's barely able to avoid any of them. So what if
Okay.
everything's said and done, everything's settled, tree root sprouts out, stabs him through the heart,
Yeah,
killing
that's what
him.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Plus, it's harder for Uraha to like interact with Samura and his fighting style when he has this broken ass sword. I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not
Yeah.
going to be able to do like the combat strategy that they've been using the last chapter or two.
Yeah, because it already wasn't perfect. Like we pointed out last week, he cut Uruha's like ponytail off or whatever
That was
when it looked like he
foreshadowing,
died.
bro. I
Yeah.
still think that
Yeah.
was foreshadowing for him accidentally slicing this nigga in half, bro.
Yeah,
It can
and
happen.
like I feel like all the swords so far have been shown to have like 3 techniques, and so far we've only seen one. Didn't he say like Crow when he used it here? Toby Mune, yeah, Crow.
Yeah.
So like everyone
Yeah.
so far has seen 3 techniques. So I'm guessing that this one is gonna have 2 more also. So I think we'll probably see him, flex and use the sword, 2 more times or so. But ultimately, I think he is gonna get like either pierced by plants or like a sniper bullet or something that he just, maybe he's talking to Uraha and there's smoke and shit in the air and everyone's talking, so he can't like focus. He's not like he thinks that it's over and he just get fucking
Yeah.
shot through the back of the head or something and it's over.
Yeah. More moral of the story is go buy the volume 1 of Kagurabachi on sale now.
We'll see.
Oh,
We'll
is
see.
it?
I'll either be waffy or laughy.
I'm sure that Traffy is not buying Volume 1 if Samura dies. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah,
Nah, I'll still buy it.
I
I'm
just can't
buying
see.
I'm buying
15
it.
copies if Samura dies. Fuck you talking about?
Damn.
I'm passing
I'm
that out to the
collecting.
family at Christmas time.
Right, I
Uh,
can't see a world where he makes it now, especially with how big of a character he's been.
He's just
Um,
so damn
They've
cool to keep
glazed him
alive.
too much. Yeah,
yeah.
like
They don't even let dude take a shit by himself, bro. Like they around to make sure that bugs don't get into his toilet time. Like this shit was hilarious. Like
yeah.
You gotta come up with a book of sayings, Yato, because some of these are gold.
well, I mean, this is 3
Yeah,
from the
seriously.
book. If
Yeah.
there's a bug, the moment I recoil, it's gone. The moment my stomach growls, a meal appears. Like they've been kind of on his beat for the last 2 years or whatever, however long they've been his guardians. But yeah, this chapter was really cool, and we didn't talk about the color page. Finally, bro got some not red in here.
Nah, there's been not read before this
Nah.
too.
Just
Don't
hasn't
do
been super
that.
common.
We
It's not
got
super
Don't.
common.
Revisionism is
we
crazy.
got some yellow, we got some
Yeah.
blue.
And
We
I
got
like on top of those like pastel like kind of like
Mhm.
colors or whatever. I really like the noisy, grainy
Filter.
like effect that that Hokuzono puts on these color pages that have been there since the beginning, really.
that shit look
But
like them old fucking folders that we had in fucking elementary school that had
oh
like you
god,
rub your hand over it. It's not like flat. It's got the little bumpies to
it's
it.
got some texture to it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that shit look
Mhm.
like. This is dope.
Yeah, I love it.
But
I'm like a huge fan of noise. Like if you look at my like, graphic design from like Project Manga days, I tried to put noise on like as many things as I could because it just makes it look like
Mhm.
paper. Like it makes
yeah,
it look like, like it, like those fucking folders that you were talking about from middle school, like I
yeah.
really like that like bumpy, textury, aesthetic to this art right now
I
and
mean,
just art in general.
you could see it in our layout right now.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's in
that's
there.
true
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
That's true too. Shit, I had to throw it in there. But yeah.
yeah. Banger chapter, man. Love everything we got and Samurai Squad. They're still getting money, but these fucking Hishaku dudes, they I guess snap a finger and they're fucking zombies. What is that? Yeah, he squeezes or does whatever with the Datsun Seki and
Yeah.
they power back up and keep fighting. Shit is not looking good for these guys, but I mean,
At the same time, though, it's like Uraha's royal guard or whatever, his personal security detail got just straight murdered off screen. You know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
you have Samura and then his ninja force introduced, and people were like, bro, stop introducing elite squads just to murder them. And it's like that feels like the zigzaggy, like narrative idea that I can see Hokuzono employing here, where it's like, oh, you think it's going to be another elite squad that gets dusted? Well, it's actually Samura
yeah,
instead this time because Uraha's security detail got scrunched. So we're not going to do that again, and we're actually just going to kill one of the sword bearers this time.
I still
Yeah,
thinking.
it'd be
I
a good
still,
way to raise the stakes.
Yeah,
I still
true.
would love it and think it'd be just insane if fucking Samura accidentally kills him and then Samura gets killed. Yeah.
I also saw a theory out
In a
there that
moment of
maybe
distraction, like, oh my god, I just killed my boy, and then what Weeb said, like one of these fucking tree branches just like stab him through the butthole or whatever.
Yeah, because like it'd be perfect. The villain does it. The villain is a real villain. He doesn't let you sit there and cry. He doesn't let you go like, "Huh?
Yeah, they go,
you
this is
okay?"
my chance right now. Go, like, press
Yeah,
play. Yeah, like,
yeah.
get in there. Yeah.
It's like, oh, he cut his homie in half. Let me pierce
Oh,
and finish this up. Let's
this
go
is
ahead
just
and
the
wrap this
moment I
shit.
was waiting for. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
shook. It's up.
I actually saw a theory somewhere. I forgot where I found it. That maybe one of the other sword bearers is a traitor. Is like
Yeah,
colluding with them.
I think Schnooty's
And
bitch ass was saying something like that. He was saying it about
yeah,
Samura. He was trying to like attribute him to like Tosin from Bleach. And
yeah,
I was
because
like,
like
not everything's about Bleach, buddy. Shut up. Anyway.
because like they said they focused basically all their forces right now, or the majority of their forces, on this fortress right now. And they're like they do it for I keep forgetting the paper guy's name again.
Hirohiko.
Like Hirohiko. They did it for his development, but I'm like, these guys are too smart to just make it all about him and just risk to potentially not succeeding in their mission. My guess, at least one of the other sword bearers were like killed off screen or was turned to the Hishaku side potentially and sold them out. Because I think at the end of the day, they want to. The main enchanted blade they want to get to is the one that was at the auction, the Shinuchi,
The Shinoucher.
Yeah.
the strongest one
That
apparently.
shit was crazy, bro. I just remembered that scene where that sword activated, bro. That shit was raw as
Yeah,
fuck.
it was awesome. I wish
Yeah.
I wish I was covering it by that point. But yeah,
Oh, me too.
yeah, the possibility of a traitor is definitely out there, or a mole at the very least. It
Yeah,
would
but
be
isn't
cool if
that
one of
like too obvious? Like I feel like
it's obvious.
there's so many traitor plots. There's so many mole plots in these Shonen Jump stories like over just like the last like 5 or so years. Maybe even goes back
True.
farther than that. It's just such a I don't
I
want to
feel
say it's a
like
cliche, but it's like
Hmm.
approaching that.
I just feel like it's not even necessary in this story. Like Roku
Yeah, this
Hira
story is not necessary.
Yeah.
But look,
Kunishige
I
was
think
like a
that
hero
it's
Yeah.
true.
to these
Either
guys.
way, I'm just calling it like maybe at least one of them was maybe killed off screen.
I could
But
see.
like it, because there's still like what seven or
Wait, that
8.
would actually be a good way to give Hishaku control over one of the enchanted blades, though, because like the way that like we've been kind of like talking over the last couple of weeks about like how it makes sense that the Hishaku is going to, gain some kind of advantage by the end of this arc because they can't just outright lose because then we're going to be like, holy shit, these guys are jobbers. Why are we scared of them in the first place if their first big movement as a force gets completely thwarted? You know what I mean? And especially on top of how effective Chihiro has been as a main character who always wins, basically. And like, it's like they have to lose in some regard here, but it just doesn't look like over the past, like, however many chapters this arc specifically has been with the protection of the sword bearers. It's like they seem like they got this shit in the bag right now. So we're wondering how the Hishaku is going to flip the script strategically in order to pull some kind of W out. And we're talking about maybe Uraha dies some kind of way, maybe Samura dies some kind of way, but maybe like they just outright win here. But then, we change perspectives to this traitor or this mole that like backstabs another one of the sword bearers and suddenly gives the Hishaku access to one of the swords that they have in possession, despite the fact that
Technically too.
despite the fact that we win here in this
Yeah.
arc. That would be
So
a
There's also
crazy twist to like flip the arc on its head at the very end, in my
there's also
opinion.
the thing that just there's also one thing that just occurred to me now. Not counting Hirohiko and the boss and the guy that's already at the Samura's place. There's I think 8 more Hishaku elite members.
Yeah.
Would you think that maybe they sent some of those guys to the other sword bearers while the majority of their forces are focused on these two right now? So
Yeah.
most of the
Oh
attention is gonna be
shit.
on these.
Maybe one of the
Yeah.
Hishaku niggas is a shapeshifter that is like, you know, disguising himself as one of the sword bearers, allowing him to get close enough to another 1-2 backstab him, and we don't even
Nah,
have to
that
do a
Possible too.
traitor or
that
a
I can
mole
fuck with.
situation. Yeah, like if we could avoid the traitor like mole cliche, and it's actually just like, oh, I'm a shapeshifter. This is all inspired by the new Hunter x Hunter chapters, by the way. But if
Yeah.
yeah, but like if it's a situation like that, then I feel like that is actually better. Not
Yeah.
just because it means we don't have to do the played out like mole trader
Or
trope, but
brainwashing.
also yeah, but also it just like increases the competency and you know scariness of the Hishaku that they have
And how
somebody
that,
like that on their team. Yeah.
especially since their boss has been just so nonchalant this entire set
Yeah,
time
and he
since we
mentioned a
saw
Yeah.
him.
trump card. He mentioned a trump card that we still haven't seen too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So
yeah.
one of my original theories was that, you know, all of the other sword bearers were going to be taken out while we were focused on Uruha and Samura.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
You did
why
say
I'm
that.
stuck on the fact that Samura will survive, because that puts them with 3 sword bearers, and then
So
the Hisaku gets the rest of them.
yeah, so what I was thinking
Sure.
is similar. So like instead of there being a traitor, just like while all of this is happening, like somebody goes and wipes out because all of the sword bearers are being like kept in like protection of the Kuminabi or whatever.
Except
But
the one.
which one?
The one that's locked up. He's not necessarily protected, he's just in
Eh,
prison.
yeah, I mean he's
Yeah.
still like under supervision, but I just think like nobody's calling Chihiro and Samura to be like, hey, bloop 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 got murdered or whatever because they're in a fight. So like while all of this is happening, I think it would be cool or make sense if another one of those characters did get killed off screen, but like they show up here, like the person who killed and took the sword shows up, like, yeah, I got the sword from your boy or whatever, and there was no way for you guys to know, but I'm here to fucking pack this up, and it's like then Samura dies but maybe Urahai gets away and fucking Hakuri is able to get his sword from Hirohiko or something. I don't know. I can see somebody getting off screen and Hishaku getting a sword through that means or something, but
Yeah.
I don't want to see a traitor. Not right now, maybe later. But not one of the swordsmen as a traitor. I don't really want to see.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Yeah.
set up a traitor plot, like I feel like there has to be, writing dedicated to the build up inside of the motivation of that character. Like maybe they were cool at one point, but then certain circumstances like, change their outlook in a way that had them defect over to, the villain side. You can't just like
Yeah.
introduce a character that we never heard of before and then also say they're a traitor at the same time. It's
Kind of
like,
like
no.
how
To this day,
Kusakabe was like, if they decide to execute Yuji, I'm not gonna argue, but like have the character go through with that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't approve of what Chihiro's doing, and the Kuminabi doesn't really fuck with him, but they're just kind of tolerating him. So I'm just gonna get him out of here.
Yeah, type shit.
to this day, the best, one of my favorite traitor reveals and utilizations is from Blue Exorcist.
Well, don't
Oh
say it.
shit. Yeah,
Don't
I won't say
don't
it.
even.
If
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
caught
'cause
up, you know.
I don't
You
read
would
that
agree
shit,
with
and
me.
I'm probably not gonna, but just in
Actually,
case,
You're
don't
missing out on
spoil me.
peak.
I actually just started reading.
No, no, I'm
I
kidding.
started reading it like this week, so I'm on like chapter 3 or something.
Oh,
I
nice.
Nice.
watched the anime like season 1 when it came out years ago, but I was like, let me read it. But yeah, what you were saying about Hirohiko earlier, them like leaving him or whatever. I think that whole situation is exactly like Mahito too, where it's like they want him to grow and mature as a person and a fighter. So like this whole thing for him is just a learning experience for Hirohiko.
You think you'll get a sick robot arm?
Oh yeah, maybe there's like an introduction of like curse tools in this story's future that are
Or maybe
like
he'll just have
instead
like
of because we already have the Datenseki in possession of the
yeah.
villains,
Yeah.
and like sure they don't have enchanted blades, but that doesn't mean they can't take that ore and turn it into some other kind of enchanted situation that's
Yeah.
not
hmm
swords because no one's fucking Rokuhira, but like they might have some other kind of craftsman that specializes in a different kind of
Yeah.
mineral based or ore based weapon
He makes
design.
like gauntlets or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, type shit.
Yeah, he
Exactly.
makes like entire like Jax from Mortal Kombat. He just makes metal arms, but like you're fighting them.
Fuck.
They're still nimble though, so he's like sword fighting, and they're like somebody goes to cut off his arms, and he's like, metal arms, baby. The sword
Yeah.
don't cut his arms or whatever. They just bounce off. He's like, what? Yeah,
That would be Ice water
Cut his
Bezo,
cut his
dude.
arms, you get a dink, and it's like, huh?
Yo, and like they don't have any like specific like powers or anything, but like they're literally just designed to like nullify the effects of enchanted blades or like just outright like defend against them, can't be cut by them or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that'd be
would fuck
cool.
with it.
Yeah, that'd be fucking sick, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Hakuri pulling it out, man. He wasn't supposed to use his power, but he was just like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't care if my fucking head explodes. I love, him collapsing and then just being like him reaching up and grabbing fucking Samura's hand or whatever while he's like laying on the ground. He's just, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna let everybody risk their life.
What
And I don't
page
do
is that
shit.
even? Did I miss that?
Page 16, where they're like Uraha, they get them those three out of there. Uraha's like, as bearers of the enchanted blades, our lives are gravely consequential.
Oh, I see it.
And then Samura, I mean Hakuri's like eye thing is like swirling or whatever, so he's got like the
Yeah.
eye juice. Then he reaches up, grabs his hand, that gets the registering, and then fucking he teleports the sword or whatever.
How did Samura even allow that to like? Did he know Hakuri was right there? Because it's like just based on his like
No
power set.
bloodlust.
Oh, no bloodlust, sure. But I mean, the
Yeah.
dude's got to be stinking with all this blood
Yeah.
flowing out of his shit too, though. So it's like, if he thinks that that's like an enemy on the ground that got cut down earlier and is bleeding everywhere, it's like, why would you allow that hand to come close to you?
You're probably
Maybe
able to
He
tell
has to
'cause
know
he got
Hakuri is
transported.
there. Or wait,
well they knew he knew they
he
'cause
recognizes Hakuri's smell because they've been kicking it.
that and like
Mhm.
he probably like at the worst, like even if he sensed his like hand coming, maybe he thought like Hakuri was like trying to use him to like help me stand up type shit.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, because
Okay.
those three, the plan was to get those three the fuck out of there. So
Yeah,
like
as long as it feels like enough things are considered before like major like pivotal moments in like narrative shifts, then I'm cool. But like sometimes it feels like, almost plot devicey, like how certain things play out in some of these stories. But it feels like Hokuzono like, has thoroughly considered why everything happens the way that it does and has like a logical explanation for why things work the way that they do, and it's just such a good feeling in any story.
yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
previous page, he does say we're taking Hakuri and going down the cliff. It's about to get dark, and we can escape into the darkness or whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah, the pieces are all there. Just
It's
the
still
blind guy.
butterscotch. My bad,
Yeah.
Hokuzono.
Yeah. Never doubt the goat again.
I won't.
Great
I won't.
chapter.
Unless he lets Samura live, then I'm dropping this garbage.
I'm
No,
gonna
kidding.
continue reading.
If Samura lives, I'm burning my copy that I don't have.
I'm burning all the copies at Barnes and Noble. Fuck the bullshit.
Yeah, I'm burning the Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
I will defend it. I will
Village
fly
will-
to wherever
will
you
distance
are,
themselves.
and I will have a bucket of water.
Nah, we're gonna be eating Traffy wings then. Don't get deep fried, buddy. Don't get flash fried.
Traffy wings is crazy.
But yeah, no, this is a great chapter, man. Another Hokuzono masterclass. Another biblical entry.
Another bus popper.
Another fucking squeezer. We got all that good shit. Oh, one thing I gotta say. Oh my god, I have to fucking mention this. It actually ruined the chapter for me.
Huh?
So yeah, Hokuzono has like a one shot or two, and in one of those one
Does
shots,
he?
yeah, I read it. I think I
Wait.
shared it with you probably a year ago or something, but you be
Oops.
slacking. But
Uh-oh.
in one of those one shots, the character has a similar power to what Samura is showing. Like the dude is walking in out of a room. He's killed everybody in the room. He's got a katana. He's got like a business suit on. His face is like covered in like black or whatever, and he's got like these feathers coming all off of his back and his body as he
Oh
walks.
no.
And
Is it called N10?
I can't remember. I have to go and look, but it looks cool as fuck. And I read it. I read this one shot like a year ago or whatever. I've seen it.
I'm
And
Googling it right now. I'm
it's
looking it up right
it's
now.
cool as fuck. It's great.
Send it to me. I want to
But
make a video.
okay, the thing that the reason this bothered me was because someone posted that picture like Thursday or Friday, and then they did like the little side eye, like the side eye, the wink that you send to a girl when you're trying to like let her know that it's up or whatever, like it's
Yeah.
rotted up, and so they posted that picture, I think, with like that smirk, and somebody was like, "Why'd you post this?" And he was like, I think he said like, "We'll see," and it just spoiled and like hinted at this coming, and I felt like this reveal would have hit so much more to me if I didn't see somebody like posting the fucking Hokuzono double spread of the guy walking, doing the exact same thing as Samura here, and it's just like, bro, why? Like, why can't you just keep
Right.
this in the Discord or share or tweet it on Sunday when the chapter drops? Like, if you would have tweeted that on Sunday, you could go triple platinum because everybody's eating, bro. Everybody loves this shit, but you don't have to spoil, bro. Like, I was like, dog. Somebody saw the Raws, was like, oh yeah, that's in the fucking one shot, and then tweeted it and act like, I'm just talking about it for no reason, and a couple people posted it, like a guy I know, another YouTuber, Tiberius, he because I made a tweet about it and said it shit sucked, and he was like, my bad if you saw my tweet. And it won't you, Tiberius. It was another guy who posted it, and it was like real, I don't know, it was lame as fuck, man. It was like, ooh, this shit raw, huh? And it was just like wait and see type shit, and then it just ended up being Samura's fucking cool moment. I just thought that was whack.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
about to
anyway.
keep that now.
Yeah, no, the one shot's dope. It was interesting. Main character had like a fucking imaginary sock puppet friend or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was
What
cool, but
the
it was weird.
fuck?
Yeah, it was something. You'll see. I'll share it in chat or
Yeah.
whatever after.
Run that up.
But yeah, we got Toby Mune. We about to have a casket for its owner.
Daten Seki casket.
Daten Seki casket.
Hey.
Yeah.
They're gonna give him some new eyes when they bury him too, because they gotta make him go out in style. Gotta be at your best when you get buried, man.
No comment.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for me for chapter 56. What about you, Weeb?
I think I'm good.
Traffy?
Samura will survive.
No,
No. What about you, Knox?
I think I'm squeezy.
All right, so we are all squeezed out. So that will wrap up episode 6 of the Shonen Pulse podcast. If you enjoyed, the topics and conversations we had tonight, please let us know down below in the comment section. If you haven't already, make sure to like the damn video. If you want to show your support, like I said, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Twitter, follow our individual pages, follow us on the Panel Focus Twitter, and check out our individual YouTube channels. That'll be down in the description. That's going. Sorry, we should just keep that, man. He couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold it in, man. Oh man, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for this episode, man. Thank y'all for watching. Holla holla.